Okay, is it live? Okay, I'm gonna wait a bit for more people to get in for now. Testing, testing. Yay, we're live! Hello, everybody. Welcome to this channel's second live stream. Thank you for tuning in. And since this is the second one, I'm gonna still be making a lot of mistakes. So please bear with me. I'm still trying to figure out everything on OBS and on YouTube streaming in general. So if I fuck up, please just be patient with me. I have some improvements on this second live stream compared to the first one. Like, for example, you guys can see the chat on the top right corner now, which I think is pretty neat since there is that YouTube delay. There was an option for me to pretty much put no delay at all, but if I enabled that option, then you guys wouldn't be able to go back in time to watch previous parts of the video. So I decided to take this sacrifice. Oh, we're gonna wait for a few more people to get in before we start. And while we're waiting, I might as well go over what we're going to be doing today. So in this live stream, as you can see, I have a cancer website here, and it's called Cancer Tutor. And this website essentially is something that a lot of people have sent me. I went through it, and it has a lot of pseudoscience when it comes to cancer. If you guys want to send me a website to go over in a future live stream, feel free to send it to me on Twitter or on Discord. On Twitter, don't send it to me as a DM because I don't really check DMs. Instead, to send it to me as a public tweet or go on my Discord, which the link is in the description, and you can put it in the future videos idea channel. Make sure you at me so I see it. I won't respond to all of them, but I will at least check out every website that you give me, and that applies to future video ideas as well. So that's sort of the type of schedule I want to have on my channel. Normal videos, I'm gonna have regular responses to other YouTube videos, and for live streams, I'm going to go over websites because I think a lot of the pseudoscience isn't just on YouTube. YouTube is a big platform, but online, people have their own websites. For example, Cancer Tutor. Cancer Tutor has a ton of pseudoscience on here, and it's not really on YouTube. So I want to be able to get through as much possible on the internet, like when it comes to pseudoscience. So that's what I'm going to do in live streams. I'm going to go over websites. And it's easier for you guys to follow up since you guys can read the text as we're going through instead of going through a video where, if you lag behind or you miss something, you can't really go back and have a live response. And that's kind of annoying. $10 from Urbaniv. Keep on informing and educating. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to be going over this website, but at the same time, I'm also going to be doing a Q&A. And I'm going to be doing a Q&A every time I live stream, so keep that in mind. Essentially, if you guys have a question for me, feel free to post it in the live chat, and I'll try to get to as many as possible. If you at me, at Professor Stick, I'm more likely to see it, but I'm not going to be able to get through all of it, unfortunately. So if I don't get to your question and you really want to have it answered, feel free to just post it again. After a few minutes. But please, I cannot stress this enough. Please don't spam in the chat. I see you, clickbait. I see you typing all those A's, okay? Please don't do that. I have moderators this time. Where are my mods? Okay, anyway, so if you want me to answer a question that I missed, then you can post it again. But wait a few minutes before you actually post it again, okay? Please don't spam me. In fact, if I see spam in the live chat, I'm going to do my best to ignore it. So please don't spam. I didn't turn on slow mode because I trust you guys not to spam. Okay. So at me if you have a burning question, post it again if I don't get to it. I will be reading all the super chats and anyone who becomes a member for this channel. So if you really want your question to be answered, or if you really want me to read something on stream, you can just you can use the super chat, but please don't feel like you're pressured to donate. Okay, you guys being here is enough. You guys being here watching the stream is enough for me. I'm eternally grateful for that. So please don't feel please don't feel pressured to donate. Donate only if you really want me to see a message. Okay, I'm just leaving that option open for people who want it there. Professor Stick, what do you think is the best way to stop conspiracy theories from spreading? I think just better education. Okay, in case you guys don't know, I'm pretty left-leaning on the political compass. So I think, education, making it more readily available for everyone. Perhaps a method is make it cheaper, then in that case, yes, we can inform more people, educate more people, and as a result, conspiracy theories aren't going to spread as easily. Teach people to think critically and scientifically. What is your major, Professor Stick? My major was in general biology. What species are you? I am stick species. How old are you? I'm 22 years old. Oh, 23 years old. What the fuck? Okay, anyway, so I'm just going to get started on this website now. You guys can keep on chatting and asking me questions. I'll just hop back and forth between the live chat and to the website. So this website, okay, Cancer Tutors. This is a page on Cancer Tutors that lists a ton of different articles, not just from them, but from other places too. So as you can see, the authors are different. This one's from Webster, this one's Cancer Tutors themselves, this one's Webster again, you know, this one's Mike. So they have a lot of different authors writing different types of articles, and they seem to always have different types of treatments, which is kind of weird if you think about it. I mean, shouldn't that raise red flags already? The fact that there are so many different types of alternative medicine, all proposing different types of treatments, and then expecting them all to work, it's too hard to believe, and it's much more likely that just none of these work. Okay, I'm gonna get caught up with super chat for now. $10 from Cobson, thank you very much. $5 from Heartboy. Cheers for educating people, even though they don't want to listen a lot of the time. Thank you. Yeah, and I think we all have a responsibility to educate people. I mean, of course, if you're not as educated in the topic of cancer or whatnot, you can't really do that. But for those of you who are more informed about this type of topic, you know, it's not that we have a responsibility, but it's more like it'd be nice if you could go around and, you know, point out all the pseudoscience whenever you see it, point out the conspiracy theories when you see it. It'll help make the world a better place. Okay, so I definitely won't be able to get through all these articles today. I don't even think I can get through one because of how long they are. Excuse me. So yeah, we're just going to go in order. So the first one is Dirt Cheap Protocol. And as you can see, I took a brief look at these articles already, at some of them. And this one, holy shit, look how long it is. Like, I'm still fucking scrolling. And they give you a lot of information, and in addition to that, on the top, they're like, you have to read all this, and you have to watch the videos that they provide. I don't know where the videos are, but they're somewhere, so you have to read this, which takes God knows how long, and then you gotta go watch, like, I'm guessing, like, an hour-long fucking video telling you how to do this protocol, which, I mean, I guess I can give them some credit for being detailed, you know? It makes them seem, like, a little bit more legitimate, but we all know they're still full of shit. Yeah, so there's no way I can get through all this. And I think later they just talk about specifics. But in the beginning, I just want to get through them introducing like this protocol, I guess. Okay, before that, I'll get through some of the chat. Professor Stick, do you think that you will ever make different types, genres of contents? See, the reason I won't do that is because YouTube doesn't really favor it. The algorithm that they promote, if you stick to a certain topic, people subscribe for a reason. They want to see you talk about like a certain topic. But if you suddenly jump from one topic to a next, like for example, if I suddenly went out and started talking about, let's say, video games and whatnot, you know, people are not going to watch that because that's not why they subscribed. So they stop watching your videos, and YouTube will see that as your subscribers being less active, and then they promote your videos less. So I'm probably never going to change my topic. I will cover a variety of different topics. Like, for example, I started talking about climate change more. I talked about, you guys haven't seen it yet, but my next video is breatharianism. That was a very requested topic. I'm trying to branch out, but as long as it stays within the subject of religion and conspiracy theories and science woo and whatnot, I think I'll definitely eventually get to cover it. There are just some topics I also just don't like covering either. I mean, this is like the topics I cover now are topics I really enjoy covering. I don't really see myself going out and talking about something completely different in the future, even if I wanted to anyway. Okay, the chat is scrolling pretty fast and it's kind of hard for me to read, so I'm going to wait for it to die down a bit and go through this website a little bit. Okay. Let's start from the beginning. It cannot be said often enough, fighting cancer is like fighting a fire. You need enough fire trucks which are working together, and that is true. Cancer, oh wait, let's see. Just like any fire is trying to spread, cancer is usually trying to spread. And Yeah, cancer is not like, it's kind of, yeah, you can say cancer is trying to spread, but that makes it sound like it's like a goal of cancer, and cancer doesn't really have that goal of spreading to the rest of your body. And I know this is just nitpicking and whatnot, but I feel like it's good for you guys to know. Um, Cancer, the purpose of cancer, they want to survive, they want to reproduce, and they want to grow. Those are the main things that cancer wants to do, and it adapts all these mechanisms to allow it to do so. Spreading throughout the body is sort of a byproduct of achieving that goal. So, for example, when cancer grows, it eventually becomes too big so that it starts leaking into other tissues. Or cancer, for example, cancer can actually recruit blood vessels, and that's called angiogenesis. So it releases certain hormones like VEGF, that's VEGF, and that recruits blood vessels. And of course, VEGF isn't the only one. And when it recruits blood vessels, it inevitably will have some cells go into the bloodstream. Now, cancer going into the bloodstream is dangerous for cancer cells because it activates a lot of apoptosis mechanisms, but some of them do survive after mutating enough. And then it eventually spreads to other places. So spreading to other places is more of a byproduct of them trying to grow and reproduce. Oh, yeah, and for those of you guys who don't know and haven't watched my videos, in order for a disease to be called cancer, it has to have already spread either to nearby tissues or to another organ or to the rest of the body. If it's just a tumor and it's benign, no matter if it's having some sort of negative impact on your health or whatnot, it's not called cancer because it's still a tumor. It hasn't spread yet. It's after that it has spread throughout the body or to other tissues that it can be actually officially be considered cancer. Okay, just so you guys know. I don't know. I'm just throwing random facts here and there. Professor Stick, what is your opinion on immortality? I think immortality is something that is going to be somewhat inevitable as medicine develops. A lot of research is actually going on right now to how to extend life, but it's not just extending life, it's also on how to make people live longer lives while suffering less as well. And you have to play around with the cells a lot. Biologically and in theory, it is very, 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 very plausible. And I think we're going to move into a future in which we'll have a generation in which they'll be like the last generation to ever have to worry about mortality. And, that's interesting. There's a lot of, I don't know how that's going to work, how the politics is going to work with that, but I do think that the technology is going to get good enough to eventually allow immortality to happen. And I'm looking forward to it. I mean, anything that improves the lives of other people, anything that, make people live better lives, whether it is developing medicine or improving technology and whatnot, I'm always going to be for it. Super chat. $5 from Farhago. If a baby's legs comes out at 11:59 p.m., but its head comes out at 12:01 a.m., which day was the baby born? Now, Farhago, you see, when you give birth, you're usually if unless you're going through cesarean section, the baby's head actually has to come out first, because if the baby's head doesn't come out first, what happens is the baby's going to get stuck at its hips because the hips are really wide. So the baby's going to get stuck there, and then that could cause the mother to die, and it can also cause a lot of pain. And that's something that, a lot of people, ancient humans, had to deal with. Giving birth was so dangerous in the past before medicine was developed, because you could have something go wrong and the baby could entirely flip in your uterus, and essentially it's going to come out feet first. If that happens, you're pretty fucked. Good thing we have C-section now to do that, and we also have certain tools to rotate the baby. Doctors just kind of have these tools to kind of press into the mother, and they can kind of like feel the baby and kind of rotate it around to make sure its head comes out first. But yeah, if its legs are coming out first, you got a problem. But let's reverse it. If a baby's head comes out at 11:59 p.m., but its feet come out at 12:01 a.m., then I would say that the baby's birth is probably the next day when its feet came out, because the time of birth is usually declared after the baby has already come out entirely. So that's what I would say. Very interesting question. $2 from Telltale. Make love to me. Okay. I think for something like this, you have to privately message me, Telltale. I'll give you my contact information later. Just don't tell anyone. Okay, $5 from Chris I00812334. Would you ever do a collaboration with religion for breakfast? I think branching out into history wouldn't be a bad thing. Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was you or not, but somebody also suggested that. And yes, I think branching out to multiple types of topics, especially when it comes to Christianity, as you can tell from my channel, I usually stay away from all the history and all the philosophy from it, because I simply don't think, here's my opinion, and you guys can disagree with me all you want, but my opinion is that history and philosophy is in terms of impact for our society is much less significant than science. I think science is the way to go. Science is what we should be studying, make people's lives better, discover more things about the universe. That's something that you can't really get from history and philosophy. So, and I kind of think that, especially for philosophy to me is kind of a useless topic in my humble opinion. You guys can disagree, but yeah. Sorry, I didn't answer your question. But yeah, I'm down to collaborate with anybody. I'm just not really the type to reach out to other people. Usually, if somebody contacts me and says, "Do you want to collaborate?" I'm usually all for it. I've collaborated and I've shouted out, and I've had guest appearances for channels that are way smaller than me, and I'm willing to promote these channels. You know, as long as your channel is good, like you better not have like one video of you autistically screaming into the mic and calling yourself a channel and then asking me to collaborate and expect me to agree to do that. You know, that's not going to happen. But I'm down to collaborate with anyone. And in terms of history, I'm not that well informed in history myself. I just haven't taken too many history classes in college and in high school, which is why in terms of history, I'm pretty ignorant on that, and I admit that. You know, I don't, and I admit it, but I'm not. It's not like I'm proud of my ignorance or anything. It's just how my life is. $2 from C. Thomas the Peasant. Sir Sick led me here. Insert Crusader noise. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I'm curious to know where you guys actually come from, because I know a lot of you guys come from just suggested videos. Like I can look at my YouTube analytics and see that a lot of you come from just suggested videos on the sidebar. But I'm still curious on, you know, why that happened. Were you watching a bunch of Flat Earth videos? Were you sent there by someone? I don't know. I mean, I'm curious. Signed Ignis, new member. Hey, welcome, welcome. Thanks for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Professor Stick, what country are you from? I'm from the country of sticks. No, I'm in the United States. Can I debunk Chris Cassatt's immortality video? Their immortality video is not really something that is debunkable. I mean, I don't see what's so wrong about their immortality video. Looks pretty good to me. Okay, I'm falling way behind schedule when it comes to this website, so I'm gonna go over this. Where was I? Fuck. Just like a fire department has to bring out enough fire trucks, a cancer patient needs to have enough cancer treatments that work together. Okay, this is also true. Okay, so far, I guess they're presenting some accurate information. So here's the thing about cancer. Cancer is very different, okay? You have different types of cancer. So when you say cancer, that actually encompasses a whole range of diseases. So it encompasses over 100 different types of cancers. So when you're looking at one, you have to look at it from a different viewpoint than when you look at another cancer. One cancer is going to behave entirely different than another type of cancer. And therefore, treatment has to be different for each of these cancers. And that's something that a lot of conspiracy theorists don't really understand. People who propose alternative medicine. It's crazy because it's like they didn't even pick up a textbook to read like the first paragraph on what cancer actually is. And here's the thing. When you look at conspiracy theorists propose these protocols, one way how you can one way you can be fairly certain that it's pseudoscience is the fact that they apply it to cancer in general. What's going to happen is medicine that works are going to target specific types of cancer. They're going to be ones that say, oh, this treatment has proven effective against breast cancer, for example, or for stage 3 prostate cancer or whatnot. It's always going to be pretty specific in what it treats. Pseudoscience and alternative medicine, they're not going to differentiate between breast cancer and prostate cancer. They're not going to differentiate between a lot of these different types of cancer. They generalize to all the cancers simply because they're not really educated on this topic. They don't know that cancer is over 100 different types of illnesses, and each one has to be looked at differently. Let's see. New member by Funtuctus. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the membership. Okay, yeah, where was I? Yeah, so when you're on a cancer treatment, when you're on a protocol, you're usually going to be on multiple different ones, and that is determined by your doctor. Cancer treatments have become more and more personalized over the years, and it's never been so personalized than ever, especially in modern times, where they would look at you specifically. Even if you and another patient has the exact same cancer, you're going to most likely be undergoing different treatments because they will be testing your cancer, finding genotyping your cancer, analyzing what stage you are, and ultimately they're going to propose different protocols for you and that other person. So that's something, and even when you're on your specific treatment, you're going to have more than one procedure done to you. It's not just going to be chemotherapy. It's not just going to be radiation that's going to cure you of your cancer. You're usually going to go through a multitude of treatments, like for example, surgery and chemotherapy can work together. Sometimes you use chemotherapy to shrink the tumor enough so that the doctors can then go in and take out the tumors via surgery. And that's a very common practice. So you're always going to go through a multitude of treatments. And in addition to that, when you even for chemotherapy itself, you're going to be receiving multiple different types of drugs, usually a combination of 2 or 3 or something like that. But you're going to receive more than one drug. And that's because cancer can always adapt and fight back. And that's why I always say that cancer seems like it has a brain. It seems like it does, but it doesn't really. Like, we know it doesn't have a brain and it can't think, but the way it behaves seems like it does. And it always seems to fight back no matter what treatments we give it, like the majority of treatments. Like, for example, if you give it one drug, it can develop resistance to that drug. And then you have to fight it with another drug. So you will usually give it a combination of drugs so that the cancer has a more difficult time adapting to the overall treatment that we're giving it, because you're giving it, more than one, and have to adapt to 2 or more drugs. Like, for example, let me just name a few. Like chemotherapy, for example, there are some common ones. You're likely to go on cisplatin, carboplatin. These are 2 very popular platinum-based chemotherapy agents. There's also cyclophosphamide, methotrexate. These are for breast cancer. There's folinic acid for colorectal cancer. Different cancers are obviously going to receive different types of treatment, but that doesn't mean every drug is going to be for a specific type of cancer. Cisplatin, for example, can be used to treat a variety of cancers, and of course that would depend on what cancer you have. Professor Stick, you should do a collab with Secular Talk. Holy shit, Secular Talk he's so high prestigious. I don't know. I don't know why he would collaborate with someone like me, but it'd be cool if he were willing to. Okay, $5 from Rocky Steel. What's your view on the recent growing number of people falsely claiming you can make free energy from quantum mechanics? Keep up the good work. See, I don't know quantum mechanics that well. My field is in biology. I do know some basic physics, but overall, I don't have the entire knowledge to make a claim on that. So I'm probably just going to leave that to someone who understands quantum mechanics. $10 from Mishi51. What species are creationists and flat earthers? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they were for some reason, some alien who came from like Mars or something, and they're purposely here to try to spread ignorance to humans so they can more easily invade us in the future. Okay. Yeah, all jokes aside, they're a special type of people. I don't always see conspiracy theorists, especially creationists. I don't really see creationists as, as people who are committing some sort of crime or whatnot. I more so see them as victims. I see them as people who have just been misinformed or indoctrinated, and then they're trying so hard to grasp onto their belief. But flat earthers, I don't know. I don't think people were indoctrinated as kids to believe the earth was flat, but but then at the same time, they're usually subsets of creationists. They're usually just more hardcore creationists. So they don't believe in evolution. They don't believe in the Big Bang and whatnot. And then on top of that, they just, by extension, they also believe the earth is flat. So yeah, I guess I would also feel sorry for them and view them as victims as well. But I don't know, the way they talk, they're always so arrogant. Not saying I'm not arrogant. I'm pretty arrogant myself, but they're pretty arrogant too. Okay. The dirt sheet protocol is designed to hit the cancer from many different angles. Wow, many different angles, using 14 of the items on the DCP list. The best part of the DCP is that it can be utilized by people who have financial constraints or who cannot obtain the recommended protocol for their cancer in the country they reside. Now, here's the thing. They say that it's cheap, but I bet they're going to list out like 14 items, and then at least one of them is going to lead that they say that it's like one of the essential ones that you absolutely need to take is probably going to be one that leads to a website or to Amazon or something that you have to buy like a bag of powder for like 60 bucks. And that's probably what's gonna happen. You know, they're advertising themselves to be cheap, but I don't know if it is cheap. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of conspiracy theorists and alternative medicine proponents that give out treatment options that that are like everyday live things. Like for example, the person who says if you drink a glass of baking soda dissolved in water every day, you'll cure your cancer and whatnot. Like baking soda is really easy to obtain and it's not expensive to do. And for these people, I don't think they have like a motive or anything when it comes to money, but I do think these people truly believe what they're spewing. And you know, that's kind of scary. And I think people do believe in these things a lot of the time simply because it makes them feel superior. Imagine if you were like, oh, I know the truth for something and nobody else in the world fucking knows. I have to spread this truth to people. Like you're going to feel kind of superior, I guess. Like just the fact that you're like, oh, I know something that other people don't know. That makes me feel superior. And you know, gives me dopamine in my fucking brain. I mean, I kind of suffer from that as well. I mean, I can't I can't deny it does feel good to be on the expert of some subjects. But on the other hand, of course, there are people who charge a ton for their alternative medicine treatments. Like that other time when I was debunking the Jersen therapy for cancer, the guy was saying that you had to go to his clinic to receive a juicing protocol. And this protocol was like tens of thousands of dollars. It was like as much as an out-of-state tuition fee for college. That's how expensive it was. And I was like, holy fuck. And all you're doing is you're paying for juicing. You're paying tens of thousands of dollars for carrot juice. What the fuck? Excuse me, like you could just buy a juicer and make it yourself. I don't know. I guess they're like trying to advertise it to be really good. Like, oh my god, like here, like we're providing you a special protocol. And we provide all this fruits, and then they show images of the special machines that they use to produce these juices. Like, please. Professor Stick, will cancer ever be 100% cured? Cancer will never, in theory, at least in my opinion, never have like a definite cure. And that, as unfortunate as that sounds, it's sort of the reality of it because of how cancer always adapts. Cancer will always, you know, be different than other people's cancers. It's always going to be different every case. And like I said earlier, if it kind of feels like they have a brain, they can adapt to whatever treatment you give them after a period of time. So we're never really going to have a cure, is how I feel it is. But we can develop more effective treatments, and these treatments can give a higher percentage of survival. Treatments could even be so effective that they could be 100%, you know, able to eliminate your cancer. But that doesn't mean we're going to have just a magic pill or something that's going to cure cancer, although I would like to believe so. And I know a lot of researchers, PhD researchers even, that also believe that there is this key that once you find it, you could possibly cure cancer, or at least a specific type of cancer. And as much as I'd like to believe that, it's not really likely. $2 from Chris 0081234 is soft science important? Yeah, I think so. Every science is important. I mean, I don't think soft science is perhaps as important. Like natural sciences, obviously. Okay, I'm biased. I know I'm biased, okay? You don't have to tell me that I'm biased. I know I'm biased towards natural sciences. So I think natural sciences are the best, and they're what's going to improve life. And they're what's going to, you know, answer our questions we have about the universe and whatnot. Other sciences, I don't know if you want to name them, psychology, economics. Okay, psychology is on the borderline of natural science, I would say. Whew. Okay, and then like economics, politics, those types of sciences, I wouldn't say are as important. Of course, well, I guess political science is important on how we do things, but overall politics is sort of just people's opinions. So I don't see politics as like an absolute truth, which is why I'm never going to cover politics on my channel. Okay, I'll read a few more in the chat and then I'm going to go back to the website. Can you make a cooking episode on how to make carrot juice that cures cancer? You know, I should actually do that and make like a humorous episode where I'm like, wow, this could cure cancer. That'd be fun. But yeah, I don't know anything about cooking. Like I'm a pretty bad chef, so you probably don't want cooking advice from me anyway. Professor Stig, do you have a team to do captions in different languages for your channel? I don't have that yet, and I haven't enabled that. The reason I'm not really doing it is because I feel like, for me at least, I'm not knowledgeable enough in terms of how that system works. So I feel like it's always going to be a risk because people could always put like troll captions in your videos. And in addition to that, someone proposed, like when the YouTube adpocalypse just happened, people proposed that the captions is actually what's going to be the biggest concern when that happened. Is for the fact that YouTube bots might not automatically recognize any harmful subjects that are talking about or any bad words you're saying until people put captions on. Then the bot can easily recognize it. I don't know. It's just a theory that was thrown around. I don't think it's actually true or anything. But in terms of having people put like subtitles for different languages, I should get to that. That would definitely appeal to a wider audience. Face reveal? Haha, I'm already revealing my face. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you like video games? Yes, I like video games. I play video games on my free time. I mean, I'm 23 years old. I'm like the prime age for video gaming. That doesn't mean I'm very good at video games though. So you probably don't want to play with me. I'm just gonna feed. Okay, 5 facts about the dirt treat protocol. Microbes are responsible. Wow. Okay, for an estimated 20% of all fatal cancers in humans, suggesting the tremendous potential of controlling micro-related processes for cancer prevention. Okay, I'm not going to check the 20%, but microbes can cause cancer. And a lot of people don't know this, especially when they watch cancer videos and people say, oh, cancer is caused by mutations. Yes, they are caused by usually mutations for proto-oncogenes or tumor suppressor genes, but that doesn't mean microbes can't cause them. And a common example is H. pylori. If you guys don't know what H. pylori is, it's basically an infection in your stomach. The H. pylori has a mechanism which allows it to protect itself from your stomach acid. So your stomach acid is usually a pretty good defense pretty good first line of defense for microbes. But H. pylori can infect your stomach and then cause you to have heartburns, they can cause you to have stomach aches and whatnot, and they can increase your chances of gastric cancer. But that doesn't mean that, once you get H. pylori, you're going to get, stomach cancer. Like, that's just outrageous. Another example is viruses. And this is something I kind of wanted to talk about in one of my videos. And I think I'll do a video talking about this in the future. But a lot of viruses actually cause cancer. And a lot of people don't know this. This is how you can get vaccinated against cancer. You actually can. What you do is that you vaccinate against the viruses that increases your chances against cancer. Of course, vaccinations for cancer isn't going to be near to 100% effective, but at least will prevent some cancers from forming. For example, cervical cancer. 99% of cervical cancer is caused by the HPV virus. The HPV virus can be vaccinated against. So if you vaccinate against HPV virus, you still have a chance of getting cervical cancer, but it's just you've taken away the majority of those chances. And the mechanism is actually pretty straightforward on why viruses do this. In case you guys don't know, viruses always want to multiply, right? In case I know you guys know this from like middle school biology, but viruses infect host cells. They inject their DNA and their proteins into these cells, and then they can either go through a lysogenic or a lytic cycle. In lysogenic, it would stay dormant in the cell and wait for the cells to multiply and grow. Then it'll eventually pop out. The lytic cycle has it immediately pop out. So what viruses want to do is that some viruses, in order to increase the numbers that they have, they would infect the cells, and then they would have certain proteins or genes that encourages the cell to grow and multiply. Once that happens, the viral DNA will also multiply using the cellular machinery. And then when the virus goes through the lytic cycle, it's able to burst out and form a lot more viruses than it originally started off with. So that's what the HPV does. It does that in order to encourage its self-growth. It didn't mean to cause cancer for our cells, but that's just a byproduct of it, because cancer is uncontrollable growth. When you introduce genes or if you introduce proteins, that's going to encourage cancer growth. Eventually, that's encourages your cells to be cancerous. It won't guarantee your cells to be cancerous, but it will likely increase the chances of turning it into a tumor. And that's kind of scary, I guess, if you think about it. These viruses are turning your cells into cancer. That's pretty cool. Cobson, I've already spent too much money on you. Yes. Thank you so much for your donations, man. Like, I really appreciate it. But if you spend too much money, stop donating. You know, if you want to save up for whatever you want to buy, just stop donating. No need to donate to me. Like, you becoming a member, you making these donations is already, you know, more than enough. What is the best creationist argument and the worst? That's a hard one because they're all pretty bad. I'll think about that while I sip some water. Wait, didn't I answer this in my previous live stream? Wait, I remember answering this. What the fuck? Okay, well, best argument, I would say, probably when they said, you know, you have to increase genetic information in order to evolve from single cell organisms to multicellular organisms. I think that's a pretty decent argument, at least. But that doesn't mean it's good. Like, it's probably the best one that they can provide, but it's not. That doesn't mean it's good. Like, it's still a bad argument overall. Yeah. What is your opinion on the Alex Jones mass banning? What is that? I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I'm not kept up with a lot of YouTube news. I mean, I sometimes keep up, but not all the time. I don't know what's going on with the Alex Jones mass banning. I mean, if you could describe it, I guess hopefully I'll see it. Dr. Stick. Oh, don't call me Dr. Stick. Actually, don't even call me Professor Stick. Just call me Stick. What games do you play? I play COD and RuneScape. Yeah, COD. Okay, I tried COD a while ago. I just couldn't really get into it. RuneScape I played as a kid. That was really fun. It's really nostalgic. Let's see. I play League of Legends. I sometimes play Fortnite. I play a lot of single player games sometimes. Like right now, I'm currently working on Ori and the Blind Forest. It's a really beautiful game. I highly recommend it. This video is not sponsored by them. I just really like their game. Dr. Stick, do you have 200 IQ? No, I don't have 200 IQ. I've never taken a proper IQ test, like an official one. The best thing I have is I have taken online IQ tests, and yeah, they were kind of consistent. I've taken like 3 of them or something. So yeah. Did I hear Fortnite? Yes, you heard Fortnite. Okay, $5 from Heartboy. No need to donate. Do you think we'll ever learn how cancer turns off telomeres getting shorter when they multiply? Thank you for your donation, man. Yeah, like I like to think of myself as like a place where you guys can come to learn things that you haven't learned before, like cancer. I mean, you guys can teach me a ton of stuff. When it comes, if you guys get to know me, I know cancer and I know biology, like molecular biology and whatnot. But when it comes to like anything else, if you talk to me about sports, if you talk to me about current events, if you talk to me about history or politics, well, yeah, some politics, I'm going to be pretty clueless and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I have the strength on one thing and then everything else I'm like very mediocre on. So you guys could teach me some things too. But yeah, yeah, cancer cells, they turn off the telomeres getting shorter. They have a higher number of telomerase. And telomerase was one of the earliest proposed mechanisms on how we can solve the issue of immortality. We introduced a bunch of like telomerases and see how they would affect the growth in mice, for example. And that's something that's really, really interesting. But the thing with anything when it comes to immortality is that if you introduce anything that keeps cells from continuously multiplying or keeps cells from or stops cells from dying or undergoing apoptosis, that is the definition of cancer. You're going to get cancer. So the question is, how do we extend the lifespan of people without increasing the chances of cancer? And I think that problem will be partially solved once we solve the problem of cancer first. Once we have more money, once we have more time and more efforts in cancer research, and when I think cancer will eventually become a disease in the past where we were like, remember when cancer was killing everybody? And then we're going to go into our history books and then in the fucking history books, they're going to go like, people here suffered from the disease of cancer. I mean, not saying it's going to be easy, but I personally believe cancer is going to be one of those diseases that will be much less of a concern in the future. Sort of how like syphilis was a huge concern in the past, but now we just take one fucking pill and you're okay. Yeah, and then once we figure out the answer to cancer, we can start working on immortality, and then that's gonna be pretty awesome. Maybe we won't be able to keep someone alive forever and ever, but I think we will definitely be able to extend our lifespans, our life expectancies. Who knows? I mean, I can't like research is going really fast now. Like we could potentially be in that direction right now. Like our generation, the generation right now, millennials and Generation Z could be the last generation that has to worry about mortality. I mean, who knows? You never know. Professor Stick, do you like anime? Yes, I do like anime, but I am very picky on the type of anime I watch. If you give me a slice of life piece of shit trash like Maid Dragon, I'm gonna lose my mind. Or like Blendes. Oh my god, I can't. I know a lot of you guys who, especially those people who are on my Discord, you guys do watch a lot of anime, so yeah, we can talk some anime and stuff if you want, but I have very selective taste. That doesn't mean I'm gonna watch. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna watch trash anime like Blendes, but you know, I'm just less. Yeah, you can call me a weeb all you want, Cubson. Yeah, call me a weeb. Yeah. We're all weebs deep down, okay? How's the Discord going? Do I like it? Yes, I do like it. Like, it's been pretty good having my own server. I've been leeching off Heath's server for the longest time, and he made me an admin and stuff, but I just stopped being active in that one. And since this is my Discord server, I'm going to be a lot more active on it. And I'm hoping to get a lot, recruit more members, you know, expand it a bit, add more functions, like more bots and that kind of stuff. I think that's going to be that's something I'm looking forward to, and I'm looking forward to interacting with all you guys. Just hop onto to the Discord. The link is in the description down there. You'll be able to access like pretty much all the chats except for the Patreon chats. Oh yeah, patrons and members, they get a private chat. So for the new members who just donated, you guys let me know in like a private message in the community section tab on YouTube what your Discord name is. If you want to join, I'll give you the appropriate role. But yeah, I think Discord is a pretty awesome software. I think it's a great communication platform. And also, I might hop into the voice chat sometimes on Discord. So if you guys want to stay tuned for that, I'm likely going to be occasionally. Like, you might be unlucky and miss me and whatnot, but I'll try to hop in occasionally. And I might need some moderator help because it's going to get pretty chaotic. Okay. What is my Discord code? The link is in the description below. So just scroll down in the description and just click the link and you can join. Yeah, see, the code, the link for my previous videos are all Heath's Discord server. It's only the recent, like past 3 videos or something that I've actually linked to my most recent Discord, because this Discord server is still new. It's like 2 weeks old or something. Holy shit. Okay, I gotta get to this. Okay. We've been streaming for 42 minutes. I'm hoping to get to at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half, maybe more if I feel like it. It depends on what mood I'm in, but talking a lot is hard. My mouth gets really dry. It's really hard to keep up. Stop slacking? Yes, okay, I'll stop slacking. Okay. Okay, many of the treatments in this protocol are designed specifically to kill microbes inside of the cancer cells. Wow! Okay, this just makes me laugh because microbes don't exist in your fucking cells. Wow, what an invasion of privacy. I mean, if you're talking about bacteria or fungi or whatnot, okay, they won't reside inside your cells, of course. Like, how the fuck is that even possible? Like, it's not possible. Your cell would just die if a bacteria like tried to break in through its membrane or some shit. But if you're talking about viruses would exist inside your cell, but they would exist in the form of DNA and proteins. How do you kill DNA and proteins? I mean, unless you're introducing a substance that breaks down DNA, but guess what happens if you do that? Yes, sir, you break down your own DNA too for regular cells. So the answer to this question isn't to kill the microbes that are inside the cells and then revert the cancer cells into normal cells. There are treatments that try to revert cancer cells into normal cells, but it's not done by killing the DNA or proteins or whatnot that are inside the cells. It's more like modifying them, I would say. But yeah, that's why we focus on a lot of treatments that target cancer cells. It's easier just to kill the cancer cells than to actually revert them. Well, actually, I'm not too much of an expert on that, but most of the treatments today are just specifically focused on killing cancer cells. So you're not really going to be reverting. Like, I don't know what he's trying to say here. Does he actually believe that there are just physical fucking microbes inside cancer cells? Like, do they think that these bacteria or something are like, oh, let me just come in here, and then they just crawl into your cells nice and cozy, and then they make themselves like a little home, like a fireplace, furnish and whatnot, and then your cell's like, oh fuck, and then it becomes a cancer cell. Yeah, I don't really think that's right. Okay. $20 from Magnus Ball Jensen 32. I love your flat earth debunk videos. I'm glad you like them. I think the majority of people who are subscribed to my channel enjoy the flat earth videos a lot more. And of course that's expected, because most of my fame actually came from making these flat earth videos. Like, I don't know, like they started blowing up and people just went nuts over them. Like, I got so many views. Like, the first video I had that passed 1 million views is a flat earth video. So I think a lot of people subscribed during that time when they watched my flat earth videos. And it was during a time when flat earth, like shitting on flat earthers, was a pretty nice trend, and I kind of piggybacked on that trend. So that's pretty much how I got all these subscribers. But of course, that means a lot of you guys are people who enjoy flat earth videos, and I try to make flat earth videos every once and like every so often. The truth is, and I said this multiple times, I hate making flat earth videos, and I just don't really enjoy doing them, because it's not like, my favorite videos to make are obviously like cancer videos, things that talk about biology, because that's sort of what I'm good at. Flat earth videos, it takes a bit more work, and I don't know, it's just, I can't really breeze through it like I can for making a cancer video. Yeah, but I do it every so often because I know you guys like it, so I just make them for you guys. This channel is not entirely for me. In fact, I'd say the purpose of this channel, the majority of it at least 95% is for you guys. So if you guys want to see something, I'm going to try to adapt to it. I'm not going to view this channel as it's something for myself, although, it is something that I've accomplished, but ultimately this channel is for you guys. If you guys want to see, like, I always try to listen to as much feedback as possible, and I want to interact with you guys more. And I want to essentially become like a medium for you guys to use to make the world a little bit less ignorant. Which is why I can't relate to a lot of YouTubers who are like, oh, I'm burning out. Oh, I'm burning out. I'm releasing a video every week or something, and I'm burning out. I can't keep up. I have to take a break or whatnot. And my reaction to that is, why are you doing this? I mean, sure, it's for yourself, but shouldn't you also think about, like, you should treat this as like a job, like either a full-time or a part-time job. It's something that it's a place where people come for entertainment. You should be satisfying your audience. Your channel, the purpose of your channel, in my humble opinion, is that it should be for the people who are watching and not for yourself. So which is why I'm never really gonna take a break. Like, I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter or saw my YouTube community section, but I recently went through a breakup, and I was pretty sad about that. That I was planning to just take like a break. In fact, I was planning to take a break for as much as like a month or two, maybe even more. But then at the end, I decided not to, because I thought about it again, and I'm like, if I take a break, what are you guys gonna do? Like, you guys, I wanna provide things for you guys to watch. So, and this channel is for you guys. It's not for me. If you had to pick who's your favorite flat earther, anti-vaxxer, etc. channel, also please stop slacking, lol. Yeah, I'm sorry, I rant too much. Yeah, I'm sorry. My favorite flat earther, anti-vaxxer, I think honestly, my favorite flat earther is probably either Flat Earth Asshole or Orphan Red, simply because they have arguments that are a bit different than other people, especially Orphan Red. She presents some new arguments, which I kind of go like, oh, interesting. You're finally saying something that everyone else isn't saying, I don't know. But simply because of that, it's not like I favor their personality or anything, or I like them as a person. And I'm going to stop ranting and go over this website. A patient should use 14 or more of these items on the dirt cheap protocol list. Many of the items in the DCP are antioxidants and should not be used within 3 hours on either side of any oxidizing protocol. Example, Budwig protocol, the 3-hour gap will eliminate any conflicts. I mean, do they think antioxidants work do they think antioxidants work against oxidizing agents? I mean, of course, this is way too broad to really conclude anything, but antioxidants, okay, you know what? This is cool for you guys to learn about it, I guess. Antioxidants, they protect your cells, they protect your DNA, and they protect it from these things called free radicals. When you breathe in oxygen, usually your oxygen is used to convert into energy and it ultimately leaves as water, but the conversion is not always perfect. What can happen is that you can have a single oxygen molecule and it will have a single electron, an odd number electron, and this is bad because that makes it very, very reactive. And when it's very reactive, it can react with a ton of things, like your cell membranes, and it can react with your DNA, and it can react with a ton of things. So that's why it's not really good. It can mutate your DNA if it reacts with your DNA. So your body has these natural defense mechanisms, like you have enzymes in your body. I'm not going to go over and name every single enzyme, but you have enzymes that sort of help to alleviate this pressure. And you also have antioxidants, which you get from your diet, which helps to accept this extra electron. And what antioxidants do is that they have a spot. If you look at the molecular structure of antioxidants, which I'm not going to present here, is that they can alter their rings, their carbon bonds, their bonds essentially in order to accept an additional electron. But because of that, it's hard for them to actually pass on this electron to other antioxidants. And that's sort of what you need to be effective. One antioxidant needs to pass on its electrons to another different antioxidant in order to be effective so then it can recycle its job. Which is why you should eat different types of antioxidants, because if you eat the same type of antioxidant all the time, it's not going to be able to transfer that easily between itself, which means it'll have less effective activity in getting rid of free radicals in your tissues. That doesn't mean you should worry yourself to the full extent of eating different types of blueberries. That's not what I'm saying. It's just some cool thing to know, I guess, something to share over the dinner table. Professor Stick, One Piece? Haha, no. I don't read manga, so I don't read One Piece, but I don't watch One Piece either. I don't like watching really long-term anime. That's another thing I'm picky about. I like to watch short things. I think maximum 25 episodes for an episode, because I hate it when the story just drags on and on. I just don't like it. Cobson, how do I change my currency to dollars? I don't actually know. I don't know. I think you have to change which country you reside in. I'm not entirely sure. Okay. $5 from AC Boone. It's not much, but I love your content. Thank you so much. I'm not expecting anyone to donate. The fact that you're donating is a lot already. So when you say it's not much, I think it's a lot. Thank you. Okay, wait. What rant was I going on? Okay, I'll go through the chat. Do you think of every cell in our body as a living organism? If so, how does that affect your position of immortality? I don't consider it an organism because it's more of a part of an organism. It's more of a collaboration to create the organism, which is, animals or humans or plants. Them by themselves, I just call them cells simply because on their own, they can't live. Any cells that you have on your own, they can't really live outside your body without the cooperation of the other cells. Which is why I wouldn't call them an organism. But I guess that depends on how you define organism. If so, how does that affect your position of immortality? Yeah, like I said, individual cells, they don't really matter too much. It's not like cells have human rights or anything. So yeah, in terms of if we have to recycle cells, if it costs cells, or if we have to kill cells for experimentation, just individual cells, I don't see why we can't just do that. It's not like these cells, even if you call them organisms by themselves, I don't really think they have like rights or anything like that. Despite understanding only about 30% of what you say, I still love watching your videos. I am sorry. I always tell myself I want to kind of dumb it down, the things I say, so that you guys can understand, because I know a lot of you guys, like most of you guys, aren't people who are in the natural sciences probably. So I'm trying to dumb it down as much as I can, but I always get sidetracked. I don't know, it's just I'm stupid like that. What is your advice on arguing with ignorant people? Best advice. If you want to be able to change their minds, you would have to be able to I think the easiest way is to tell them why you think what you think. Say, I believe this because my thought process is this. I follow the scientific method, and this is why the scientific method is the most optimal procedure that we should be going through when it comes to discovering truth about the universe. And I think if you can have them relate to you better, they would more easily, like, of course you have to avoid ad hominems and whatnot. I mean, I'd say I call people pieces of shit all the time in my videos, but that's just me because I don't know. It's not like I'm looking to convince people or anything. This content is mostly for you guys who want to see me shit on people, I guess. I see Farhago there rocking the laughing emote. Do you like plant or animal biology more? I like animal biology. Okay, so plant biology is a very different thing. And I have learned plant biology. And when you learn plant biology, you inevitably learn ecology too, because plant ecology is a pretty big topic. And I've learned that to quite some extent. And I know quite a bit about plants. In fact, next Tuesday or Wednesday, you guys are going to see a video where I talk about tree rings. So we're going to be debunking some creationists claiming things about the tree rings. So I display a little bit of plant knowledge there. So I guess you guys can see it. I know quite a bit. Like I don't know if you've seen my photosynthesis video before on David Reeves, but that one I did go through quite a bit of information on, C3, C4 plants and CAM plants, how they the biology behind it, where they accept CO2 and whatnot. How CAM plants alter their way and they don't use rubisco as the primary carbon accepting molecule. Blah blah blah. You guys don't care. I know you guys don't care. $5 from that random viewer. Thank you very much. All right, I'm gonna do a bit more on the website now. Ooh. Many of the items in the DCP. Oh wait, hang on. I read this part. The treatments listed in the DCP are inexpensive and can be found at local natural health stores and even at your grocery store. Yes, I'm sure you can, but I'm also suspecting that a lot of these items are going to be found maybe online or something, or at a specific clinic, perhaps online, where they charge you quite a bit of money for it. I don't know if I'm actually going to go over and check them and to see, like, haha, you see, this is $100 and you said it's on the DCP list. It can't possibly be because it's not cheap, No, I'm not going to do that. Do you think DNA forms naturally anywhere under the right conditions? I think it's very, 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 very possible that DNA forms under natural conditions, like somewhere that's not inside organisms. But we might not ever discover that unless we do it unless we're purposely doing it in a controlled setting. Because if DNA just forms anywhere, like outside organisms and whatnot, it's just going to break down. Like outside forces are just going to react with it and break it down, and we're never going to know that the DNA was there to begin with. Which is why there are those three criterias for life to be life. And one of them is for it to have a container for the genetic information. Because if you have DNA just floating around by itself, it's going to be broken down really easily. In case you guys don't know, DNA is it's not very stable. A lot of things can react with DNA. And this is different for RNA. RNA is actually more stable simply because it has an extra OH group in one of the carbons. If you actually look at the structure on what differentiates ribose from deoxyribose. So that's why I say the beginning of life must have started, or not must, but it probably started with some sort of RNA-based organism, because RNA is not easily broken down and it can replicate. Professor Stig, when do you have birthday? My channel's birthday. I'm not going to reveal my actual birthday, but my channel's birthday is on May 15th, and it started May 15th, 2016. So it's been 2 years and like a few months. 2.5 years, I'd say. All right, what's your, Professor Stig? Oh, sorry, I saw your question a few times. I didn't get to this one, but what's your view on human GM? Sorry to ask, but I'm not really sure what GM stands for here. What does that mean? If you could just clarify I'll answer that question. 1v1 me on Fortnite. No, thank you. I'm terrible on Fortnite. You're gonna kick my ass. Okay. You know what? I'm answering a lot of questions, and it's getting to the 1 hour mark. So I think I'm gonna extend it a little bit. I mean, I know I'm not getting to everyone's questions, and I've barely gone through any of this website, so I'm gonna make this stream a bit longer. If you guys don't, if it's too long for you guys, just feel free to leave. I mean, that doesn't mean you should leave. Like, please stay. Do you think nanobots could remove cancer in the future? Please, I asked so many times. Notice to be stick pie. I just wanted to answer nothing more. Yes, I think nanobots is a possible answer to not just cancer, but many other diseases too. And it could also be for infections as well. But that's going to depend on the nanobot technology. I think that's really hard to say since we're not really anywhere close to developing tools like that yet. But yes, it does sound like it would be a pretty good option. The thing is, surgery is already pretty good. You know, our surgery procedures that doctors go through, they're really experienced, and these are surgery procedures that are really commonly done normally if you do undergo surgery. So it's not like surgery is already pretty good in and of itself. Of course, there are risks to it, and nanobots would probably get rid of a lot of the risks that are involved. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it though, if we do develop nanobots. When will you do a face reveal? I've already done a face reveal. You just have to look at the screen. You will not complete 50% of this page. I know. I'm not going to. I mean, look at how long. Okay, you know what? Okay. Look at how long this is. Look at this. How does someone have to pay? Oh my God, look at the categories on this right side here, the table of contents. I can't, like, I feel like if I just didn't even do the Q&A and I just went through this one article out of the many that are listed in the front page, I think I wouldn't even get through like half of these either. Like, it's just not possible. But I think they just go through more specifics later, which is why I'm not going to read through all of it. I don't think you guys are interested, because all I'm going to say is they're going to go like, oh, use this 3 times a day. And I'm just going to say, well, that doesn't do anything. And then that's it. It's not really interesting. Microbes are one of the main leading causes of cancer, and scientists and researchers are leading efforts to better understand how microbes can be controlled and used to develop better methods of therapy and possibly even prevent cancer from developing in the first place. You can prevent cancer from developing in the first place if you do some vaccination things. Like if you vaccinate against HPV, yes, you're probably gonna prevent the high chances of developing cervical cancer, but that's just that. Just by the way, the vaccines that I'm talking about is different from the therapeutic vaccinations that I was talking about in my videos. Therapeutic vaccinations is just, taking out immune cells, vaccinating them in vitro, and then selecting out the cells that are healthy, multiply them, and then reintroducing them back. And that's just one type of therapeutic vaccination. Of course, there's many, many types, but that's just the one that always comes to the top of my head when I'm thinking about it. Further, microbes induce an estimated 20% of all fatal cancers in humans. I'm not going to check the 20%, but I wouldn't be too surprised if that were true. Why fatal cancers, though? What the fuck? Okay. Suggesting the tremendous potential of controlling microbe-related processes for cancer prevention. In addition to inducing cancer, microbes also may influence the course of an established cancer, or may both induce and influence a particular cancer. Now, here's something I haven't heard of before. Like in my studies of cancer, I haven't heard cancer interact with other microbes, like bacteria. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, because they exist in everybody, even though they're different for each person. But because I've never heard of it, I'm going to call bullshit on that. Cancer will influence other cells in your body. It'll take control of your immune cells, like your macrophages, for example. There's 2 types of macrophages, and it's type 2 macrophages that the cancer cells can control. Those are the bad macrophages. They can basically have signals, recruit macrophages, and it's not just macrophages, they can recruit a ton of other cells too, and eventually they can create a tumor microenvironment. And this tumor microenvironment is what allows cancer to thrive. And essentially, when cancer metastasizes from one tissue to the next, perhaps it's going through your bloodstream and going into another organ. One hypothesis that is one way that cancer can choose to settle on which tissue to end up in is how they establish that tumor microenvironment. And this is something that's also pretty scary about cancer cells. They can send signals and control areas of your body that isn't even in the area that the cancer cells are in. So let's say if a cancer cell is in place 1, there's in body part 1, and then it can send signals to body part 2 and start recruiting these immune cells and other cells, which will group up and create a tumor microenvironment in the destination. So when the cancer cells then metastasizes through your bloodstream, they will end up in that place because they already established like a nest, or like just the environment, the suitable environment for them to reside, which will then allow them to grow in the new place. And that is pretty fucking scary, don't you think? How did you pick your channel name? It's not an interesting story. Basically, I just sat down once and thought about it. Cobson, DK, I don't know what currency DKK is, so I'm sorry. I don't know how much that is, but if it's a lot, thank you very much. 50 DKK. Well, I can't change the currency, so here's 5. Oh, well, you just told me. Okay. Thank you for the $5. Dude, thank you so much. Wait, you already became a member? And you're still donating to me? Wait, was that you who became a member? Let me check. Oh, you donated to me earlier. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, man. Thank you. Video games. Video games I play. I think I said this earlier. I play some League of Legends. I play some Fortnite, and I play some solo games too. Like I just finished playing the 2013 Tomb Raider game, and I'm currently working on Ori and the Blind Forest. And I think Ori and the Blind Forest is a great game, like I said earlier. Check it out if you haven't already. They're not sponsoring this stream. GM is genetic modification. Oh, so human genetic modification. Okay. So if we're going to genetically modify humans, the reasonable way to approach that is that you would have to go and modify the embryo first, or the zygote. As soon as the zygote forms, which is when the sperm fertilizes the egg, while it's still a single cell, you have to inject the new DNA into it, like CRISPR-Cas9 or whatnot, with CRISPR-Cas9, which is a very great tool that has been used for a lot of experiments. And then after that, you can then control what type of genes you want. And of course, there's going to be think of the ethics of this. Think of what happens if you mess up, because you can test all you want on animals, but eventually you're going to have to move on to humans. What if you create someone who has Down syndrome, for example? What if you create someone, well, actually, you probably won't create someone who has Down syndrome, genetically speaking, because the egg has already been fertilized. But what if you create someone with mental disorders or someone with physical disorders? There's always going to be some sort of uncertainty, and you're going to have to do a lot of testing, and you have to be absolutely sure before you do that, because just think of the human ethics. You're creating a human being here. And although I am all for genetically modifying humans, I'm for, if we can control this, get it right, and have people select what type of genes they want. It may not seem like it may seem crazy right now, but I think that eventually when this does become a thing, it will be a pretty common it might become a pretty common practice. In the far future, I'm talking like way past our lifetimes. The thing is, it's really hard to control. We're already trying to do a lot of CRISPR-Cas9 things on humans. Like, for example, the cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is a point mutation error in that runs in the families of white people. Now, this mutation can cause people, it causes a paralysis of a chlorine pump that exists on the epithelium lining of your trachea. And essentially what that does is that you don't produce mucus in your throat, so you don't trap bacteria, your lungs get infected, and it comes with a whole bunch of nasty side effects, and you're always constantly coughing. It's pretty fucking horrible. So cystic fibrosis, we've already, I know a lot of scientists have already been experimenting on using CRISPR-Cas9 on that, modifying the genetics. So if you want to do that, see, every cell in our body has the exact same DNA. It's the epigenetics that determines what DNA is expressed. So if we want to solve cystic fibrosis, for the throat, what we would need to do is we would simply need to modify the cells that exist in the throat already. You don't have to modify the cells that are, for example, in your legs, because they're not going to affect how you're breathing. Or how you're coughing and whatnot. So we want to do that. So there's multiple methods of delivery, obviously, and you can use viruses as a delivery method. You would have to genetically modify viruses to target the specific cells that you want to, because different cells have different antigens that are present. But then you have to fight the immune system. How do you suppress the immune system? If you suppress the immune system, you make the body more susceptible to other diseases. And we've tried this, and there have been clinical trials, I believe clinical trials, that have been working on this. And it's so difficult. It's very difficult to get viruses to infect the proper things that you want to infect. And it's also very difficult for the gene that you're introducing to stay there. Because here's something that you might not have thought of. Once we infect a certain tissue and that tissue is behaving well, it's not going to last, because your bodies are always going to replace and replenish your cells, especially for skin cells, every cell in your body pretty much, except for certain parts of your cortex or something in your brain that never gets replaced, like your neurons. For something like the endothelium of the throat, it's going to be replaced. So you infect some cells, sure, maybe it could be good for a while, and then eventually the body gets rid of those cells and then replaces it with new cells. And guess what those new cells have? They have the defective version, and the patient will still have cystic fibrosis. In which case, what do? Do you infect the stem cells in that case? But if it's very difficult to target. So the best solution for genetically modified humans is you would probably have to infect the zygote to begin with, make it so that every single cell, once the person develops, will have that genetic modification. And I think my opinion is that this probably will be the future. People in the future will, maybe it'll start off as you have to pay large sums of money to do that or something, but I think it's possible. But we also have to be careful with it, because you don't want to create overly muscular humans for war purposes and stuff. But I do think that once we have the technology to develop the ability to genetically modify humans, we probably won't be in a state of war anymore. And that's a state where war is possible. I simply think that in the future, humans are going to stop fighting, because we're going to develop technology so that everyone has enough resources. And maybe you'll still have some conflicts between countries. But I think that more countries are going to unite, and they're going to share resources, because there's going to be enough for everyone. And technology is going to make it so that everyone has better lives. Of course, we're talking about thousands of years in the future, and it's not going to be in our lifetime. Wow, I ranted quite a bit about that. Let's go on. Where did I leave off? I don't even remember. Oh, here. Although there may be a fine line between these microbial actions, exploring this distinction may help in developing interventions for treating as well as preventing microbe-associated cancers. All right, sure. Let's see what you have here. In addition, according to the NCBI, research has found that certain bacteria has associated with human cancers. Their role, however, is still unclear. Convincing evidence links some species to carcinogenesis, while others appear promising in the diagnosis, prevention, or treatment of cancers. The complex relationship between bacteria and humans is demonstrated by H. pylori, Helicobacter pylori, that's the one I was talking about earlier, and Salmonella typhi infections. Research has shown that H. pylori can cause gastric cancers for multiple lymphoma in some individuals. It's a lot of, it's mild lymphoma, but it's a lot of gastric cancers too. Okay, that's just nitpicking, whatever. In contrast, exposure to H. pylori appears to reduce the risk of esophageal cancer in others. Really? Okay, you know what? I feel like the general information they provide is not always inaccurate, so I can't always just call it on their bullshit. And it seems like I always know about cancer, guys, when I'm talking my videos, but that's not always the case. A lot of the times, sure, the majority of it I get from my own knowledge, but a lot of things I do have to look it up. For example, if I were responding to this in a video, I would look it up. And I would see, does H. pylori really decrease your risk of esophageal cancer? Because that sounds, I don't know. I'm skeptical of it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it were true. And, whatever. This would be one of those times when I do some research. Okay, $5 from last match in the box. Came in late, wanted to say you're fucking awesome. Thank you so much for the $5. You're awesome too. Cobson, DKK 50. That's like $5. Oh wait, hang on. I read this already. Oh shit. Last match in the box. Sorry, I read your super chat late. Oh, I read it like 20 minutes late. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to it as soon as possible. I am so sorry. Okay, OG Wall. Why is cancer so common in modern times, and can CBD help someone fight it? CBD. What is CBD? Do you want to clarify in the chat? I'm gonna sit in the chat and wait for you to clarify a bit, or not clarify, but tell me what CBD is, because I'm not really sure what that is. What is CBD, guys? Somebody in the chat must know what it is, right? Oh, is that a type of oil? Okay, I'm looking it up now. Okay. Cannabidiol? I've never heard of this. Yeah. Oh, it's cannabinoid constituent of cannabis. Okay, if you're talking about oh my god, guys, don't spam letters, please. Please don't spam. Where are my moderators at? Okay, cannabis. Okay, so if you're talking about cannabis, see, there is a lot. Unfortunately, as much as you guys probably want to hear that cannabis is like, oh, it's so good for treating cancer or for curing cancer, gonna have to burst your bubble. Cannabis is cool. Okay, like I'm for the legalization of weed, but I don't think it's right if to go around spreading rumors about how cannabis is the cure for cancer. And this was actually a requested video topic that people have sent me. They wanted me to talk. They sent me some videos about some people claiming that cannabis can cure cancer. It can't cure cancer, guys. It can't. It can't. Maybe it could slow down cancer growth or something like that. Maybe somebody has done that in research, and I've actually read a few articles on that. People were testing it, but it certainly can't just outright cure cancer. And I'm all for using cannabis to treat other illnesses, like for example using it as a painkiller. And I understand a lot of doctors can't use that right now because of legalization issues and stuff. And I'm all for using it for medical purposes if doctors use it in a controlled setting and stuff like that. But going around saying that cannabis can cure cancer is also pseudoscience. Don't do it. It's good for pain relief with some other good aspects. Yeah, it does give some pain relief, which is pretty good. Cannabis is interesting. A lot of people, okay, here's the other thing about cannabis. Don't think that marijuana is just super incredible or good and whatnot, because it's not as good as many people would put it. Okay, if you're going to argue for the legalization of cannabis, don't go around spreading information about it. It's not as detrimental for you as opposed to, for example, cigarettes. Cigarettes is the nicotine in cigarettes and the other carcinogenic compounds in there are going to be pretty harmful to you, and they can cause lung cancer. Cannabis will also cause, if you smoke weed, it will still increase your chances of lung cancer. There are still toxic chemicals in weed. And in addition to that, it's cannabis also has certain wiring effects on your brain. So essentially, when neurons fire signals, they have a refractory period, which means there's a period in which it needs to get its sodium and potassium levels balanced between the inside and the outside of the cell in order to fire again, because otherwise the cell is going to be too positively charged in order to fire. It needs to reestablish its sodium concentration inside the cell and the potassium concentration outside the cell after every action potential. Every time an action potential happens, the sodium potassium pump has to repump this back into the proper levels in order to reach the negative 70 membrane potential, resting potential. Cannabis will speed up that process, in which it will restore the sodium and potassium balance faster. And that may sound good at first, but it's making your cells work harder, essentially. The cells have to work faster. They have less refractory period, which is why people go on thinking tangents. You know, if you ever smoke weed, it's like you go and you're always in a state of trance, and you think about something pretty significant, and then you think about something else so significant. You're like, wow, this is the most significant thought I've ever had. That's sort of why that happens. It's because your brain is overactive during that time. Whether or not that has long-term consequences is still to be discussed. But don't go around saying that cannabis is perfectly good for you and that you won't suffer any detrimental consequences by smoking it, because there are some bad things about it. I heard cancer cell feeds on carbs. I will have a ketogenic low to no carb diet. Help? Yeah, so cancer feeds on sugar. Okay, so through the Warburg effect, it actually absorbs a lot more sugar than other parts of the body do, which is why you can feel tired when you have later stages of cancer, because they suck up all your glucose. They take up this glucose, and due to the Warburg effect, they create lactic acid from the sugars. And lactic acid only produces 2 ATP per glucose molecule, which is why it's so inefficient, because it relies on glycolysis in order to produce this energy, as opposed to the aerobic cycle, where you can produce 32 to 36 ATP for every glucose molecule due to the electron transport chain. So cancer is always going to do that. So they feed on sugar, yes, and they don't really feed on other things like proteins and fats, although I do believe it's possible. I haven't read any studies on this yet, and it's something that's really kind of outside the specific type of field of cancer I've been looking at. But I wouldn't be surprised. People who say that you should go on low sugar diets, it could help, but don't expect anything from it. I just wouldn't trust it, and I would just listen to whatever your doctor has to say. Ultimately, your doctor knows what's best for you. If you have cancer, listen to your doctor. Don't listen to anybody else. Listen to your oncologist, because they have years of experience and they know what they're doing. If they tell you to go on a ketogenic diet, go for it. If not, don't do it. Damn, this is already over an hour. Yep. I want to do this for longer. I'm having quite a bit of fun talking to you guys. And it's not like I don't have too much to do later. I mean, I do have something scheduled later this afternoon, but that's later. Do you have any extensive knowledge on muscles? I kind of lost on sarcolemma. Yeah, I mean, if you like, what parts of muscle are you asking about? Because I mean, I help out on the Discord channel. I do help out some people in terms of homework, like some people who DM me on their biology homework. Like, I can help you out if you want. Just send me a DM on Discord, or you can put it in the Science Talk channel on my Discord, and other people can help you as well. Yeah, if you want. Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me I have a donation, Garav. Okay, why do people say baking soda cures cancer? So the concept behind that is that they say cancer is mostly acidic, and that is true. Cancer cells, like I said earlier, go through the Warburg effect, so they produce lactic acid as opposed to undergoing the electron transport chain in the mitochondria. So baking soda is basic. And it's bicarbonate, basically, and it's a conjugate base to carbonic acid. So what it does is that it can convert some of the carbonic acid in your bloodstream back into CO2, and it can take some of the hydrogen ions out of your bloodstream. So that's why it's basic. So because cancer cells produce a lot of lactic acid due to the Warburg effect, because cancer produces a lot of lactic acid, the media area around the cancers are slightly acidic. We're not sure why cancer does this exactly. Lactic acid, scientists have proposed that lactic acid can be used as a building block to a lot of things that cancer needs, but we are not entirely sure. Maybe it enhances the environment. Maybe cancer thrives better in a slightly more acidic environment. We're not sure. But the thing is, we don't want to jump to conclusions. And if cancer cells didn't have that acidic environment, they would still be fine. They would still be fine, and they would still be cancer. So people who propose baking soda are trying to say, oh, your body is acidic due to cancer. And cancer can't survive in acidic environments. And this is actually a really common conspiracy theory that's going around on there. I wouldn't call these conspiracy theories, just alternative medicine. So they say if you increase the pH, then you're going to essentially kill cancer cells because they can't reside there. The thing that they don't know is that, yes, a high pH will kill cancer cells. That is true. But guess what else it kills? It also kills your regular cells. Your regular cells also cannot survive in high pH. So if you're like taking so much fucking baking soda and cause you and kill your regular cells, what's that gonna do? You know, you're just killing yourself. I mean, sure, you'll get to the cancer cells. Oh, we sure showed them, but you self-destructed in the process. And if your blood is too basic, it's called alkalosis. And that's actually a thing that you can get. And that can happen if you throw up, for example. If you throw up, you lose a lot of stomach acid. Other things like if your kidneys aren't functioning properly, maybe if your blood is too basic. If you have irregular breathing patterns, that kind of things. In case you don't know, yes, breathing does affect your blood pH if you actually know how carbon dioxide dissolves in your blood. And that's one of the ways your brain actually controls your blood pH is by altering your breathing. And overall, the thing is, even if you introduce baking soda and drink it, your body's pretty good at regulating pH levels in your body. There are two main mechanisms. One is to alter your breathing levels. That will change the carbonic acid levels that are in your brain, which will ultimately control how much hydrogen is dissolved in the blood. And number two, your kidneys simply pump out hydrogen ions if it needs to. If it needs to increase the pH of the blood, it will secrete more more protons into the secretory ducts. If it needs to decrease pH, it just secretes less. So your kidneys is a pretty good long-term way of controlling your body pH. So if people are like drink water mixed with baking soda in order to cure cancer, just tell them that your body has ways of controlling it, and you're not even going to affect the pH of your body at all, unless you eat like a ton of it, which is highly not recommended. And in addition to that, you're just going to kill your own cells before you kill the cancer cells. Can I DM you on Instagram? I don't have an Instagram, so you can't. My grandpa just got diagnosed with leukemia. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, dude. Wow, yeah, that sucks. Is he undergoing treatment? I hope it hasn't spread too far and whatnot, and I hope the doctors will be able to get to it soon so that it can be cured. Is it hard to make videos or ever less stress-inducing? I don't really know what you mean, but yeah, making videos can be stressful sometimes, but this is mostly fun for me, so it's not too much stress. What do you think about Trump and his Space Force? I don't know what is this something that's been happening? I am being an ignoramus when it comes to Trump now. I'm purposely trying to avoid Trump drama because, in case you guys don't know, politics makes me too angry. So in order to keep my sanity, I stopped following what Trump has been doing. Okay, I'm gonna start getting to more of this. Okay, many of the treatments in this wait, am I here yet? Okay, whatever. Many of the treatments in this protocol are designed specifically to kill microbes inside those cancer cells to help revert the cancer cells into normal cells. Holy shit! If microbes existed in your cells, that would be incredible. What an amazing discovery! Phenomenal. Any treatment that uses maple syrup, honey, DMSO, MSM, or molasses is designed to get substances inside of cancer cells. These are Trojan horses used to get micro-killing substances inside of cancer cells. Okay, well, maple syrup, I don't know. That's just pretty much sucrose, which can be pretty bad for your liver. Don't eat too much fucking maple syrup. Honey does have antibiotic properties, so I guess honey does kill bacteria. DMSO. Okay, let's talk about DMSO. DMSO is an aprotic. Wait, is it product or aprotic? Shit, I don't remember. Okay, well, it's a type of substance or solvent that we actually use in a lot of chemical reactions. Okay, a lot of reactions simply work better in organic chemistry when it's under DMSO or if it's under some other solvent. And DMSO is one of those substances that are used very commonly. And if you've taken any sort of organic chemistry class, I'm sure you're familiar with it. The macro use of DMSO in medicine is that it's very good. It's a very good thing to dissolve certain drugs into and then using it to get the drugs inside of the cell. So what you do is that you would, if there's a specific molecule or a drug that you need to get inside of a cell in order to conduct experiments, for example, and it normally doesn't go through the membrane because of the phospholipids of the membranes, the water liking, the water fear state of the membranes, it can't always go through. So what you do is that you dissolve it in DMSO. DMSO goes through the cell, and when it goes through the cell, it can take some drugs with it. And I've actually done this in some classes in college. We actually infected a sea urchin cell with DMSO, and we infected it with a chemical that opens calcium ion channels to see if a process was specifically necessary for sea urchin fertilization and cell division. I'm sure you guys don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but yeah. $5 by Joshua. How do you get different chromosome counts in animals? I know chromosome 2, but how to change number of chromosomes without ending up something like sterile mule? So chromosomes can form in many different ways. So chromosomes are relatively fragile. They can break, they can adhere to each other. And this, I consider it part of the mutation thing when we talk about evolution, like a mechanism of evolution. When I say mutations, I include translocations, which is what this is. So DNA it's not like DNA has telomeres at the ends of it, and that also does prevent some of the DNA, for some of the chromosomes, from attaching to other chromosomes. But if that's not functioning properly, you can easily have a chromosome just adhere to another one, and that ultimately reduces the number of chromosomes. Or you can have a chromosome break apart, and that could be through mutation, or it could be through some sort of mutagenic chemical in which you would produce a higher number of chromosomes, even though the two daughter chromosomes are separate. And of course, this is going to cause many problems. You can cut it in the middle of a gene. If you cut it in the middle of a gene, that gene will become non-functional. You could, if two chromosomes combine together, they could combine two genes together to form a longer extended protein that has two parts to it. And that's actually one of the really common causes of this type of cancer. I can't really recall off the top of my head. I think it was a type of lymphoma where it's caused by an adherence between two chromosomes. And they basically created a new type of protein that became cancerous. How would you feel if you were noticed in a sea of comments at 9 years old? I don't know. I'm not 9 years old. I can't speak for 9-year-olds. Do you have Instagram or Facebook? I don't have Instagram or Facebook, so you can't message me there. Have you ever heard of the YouTuber Cosmic Skeptic? If so, what's your opinion on him? I think Cosmic Skeptic he's like a philosophical genius at his age. He presents really, really good philosophical arguments, and he's really good at debate. His brain works quickly, and that's what I really like about him. I think he deserves all the success he has because of, like, it's just crazy how well he's able to argue his points and stuff. I'm always like watching his videos, and I'm like, wow, I haven't thought about it in that way, and that makes me have a new perspective on it. And I'm glad he exists in this community. I think he's going to college now, so good luck to him on that. Okay, my dad thinks some people are sensitive to EMF, and he thinks it causes them pain. Can you debunk this pile of feces? Please make a video on this. Thank you. If you want to send me a video request idea, feel free to put it in the Discord under the channel future video ideas. I'll be going through them, and tag me too if you want me to see it. I will see all of them, but I can't guarantee everything. So if you want a chance for me to go over to respond to a particular video, you can put it there. If you're a member or a patron, you get extra priority. So that's pretty cool. Do you think there's life on Europa? I think it's possible, but I don't know. Like, I'm sort of indifferent on that. And I do think if we do find some sort of life on other planets or on other in other solar systems, it's most likely going to be some sort of worm or something small like that. I mean, I'm not really expecting to find any intelligent species because of the Fermi paradox. $2 from Leah Bitterwolf. Your opinion on human-animal hybrid experiments. There's a lot of ethical issues in regards to that. I don't have a particular opinion yet, but I would have to see what the purpose of that is for. Why would you want to create a hybrid between a human and an animal? I mean, if you're taking certain genes of an animal and putting it in humans, I can see why that could be helpful if an animal has a particular gene that we want to use to improve the lives of humans, and that we know is safe, and it's just like a gene or something. Like, I don't see why that would be too much of a problem. But hybrid experiments, Sounds a bit sketch to me, and I don't really see what any purpose of that would really come, like what would come out of that really. Okay, I'm gonna go over this a little bit more. MSM. Okay, so MSM, what is that? I think he's referring to the sulfonyl methane. I think that's what he's referring to. I can't be sure, but for that, if you're talking about that MSM, that was proposed by some sort of biologist, but the government never approved of it. And he made a bunch of pseudoscientific claims on how it would improve your lifestyle. And then there were some experiments on it that suggested that it could possibly reduce stress and some oxidative stress and other stress in general for humans, perhaps would improve lifestyle. I think it was something like that. But if it's not approved, the FDA is pretty on top of their shit. If the FDA approves something, which, their boundaries are really high, you can usually expect it to be good. If it's not approved by the FDA, be skeptical of it. Do you know the YouTuber Thunderfoot? If not, I think you could like his content. Yes, Thunderfoot was actually the YouTuber who got me into this community. I was watching his Why Do People Laugh at Creationist videos, and those have gotten that just pretty much sparked my interest in debunking religion. And then from religion, I extended to other YouTubers and extended to other topics. And it wasn't until so much later that I created my YouTube account where I wanted to talk about religion, creationism, and other science stuff. When I started my account, I never expected. I expected it to just be on religion. That was the original idea of it. But then eventually I started talking about other things like conspiracy theories. I'm like, wow, this is so much more fun, because for religious arguments, let's be honest, we've heard all of them. And conspiracy theorists, there aren't that many of them on YouTube. So I think it was a great idea for me to start focusing on that. Although I'm not going to abandon religion entirely, Opinions on GMOs. GMOs are great. We need to increase the overall general education on what GMOs actually are, because GMOs that's going to be how we're going to solve food shortages. GMOs is how we're going to solve environmental issues. It's going to be how we're going to solve food shortages in certain third world countries. It's going to be able to provide cheaper options for food, and it's going to be more land efficient, take up less land, that kind of stuff. GMOs is ingenious. I really like the ideas of GMOs, but of course, like any experiments, you have to be careful with it. If you're going to introduce a GMO that's ultimately going to affect the overall gene pool of a wild population of crops, like for example, what happened to the Roundup crops, then you have to be careful what kind of effects that has. Because if you're messing with nature, it's always going to have unforeseen consequences. So you're going to have to be careful. Is it true a bone marrow transplant can cure certain types of leukemia? I registered to be a donor to anyone who needs it. Wow, you're really generous for being a donor. That's great. You're a great person. Yes, bone marrow transplant, a lot of people will need a bone marrow under certain types of leukemia, and they need people who are matching. Which is why you see when people have leukemia, doctors are always going to the family members and go like, yeah, can we get you tested to see if you match, to see if you match the patient or your family member who is currently suffering from leukemia. And then after that, you do a bone marrow transplant, and it's relatively risk-free, So like if you want to do a bone marrow transplant, that's great. People who donate blood, who sign up to be donors of bone marrow transplant, people who check that they are willing to donate organs while when they applied for a driver's license, for example, if they ever die from a car accident. You guys are great people. Like, for example, when I got my driver's license, it's just, there are tons of people who will always need a bone marrow transplant. There's always tons of people who need an organ transplant. People could be lying in the hospital for months waiting for a kidney or waiting for a heart. And if people simply don't, and it could make the difference of life and death from somebody else checking if they want to be an organ donor when they're applying for a driver's license. And I think that's something that everyone should really do. Although I understand you have the rights to your organs, but I think that you're a great person if you are willing to donate your organs. Especially, if you do get in a car accident and die, like, you're dead, it's not gonna matter, right? Yeah, I don't know. What's your thoughts on vaping? After 20 years smoking, vaping probably saved my life, but the Into Smoke campaigns demonize vaping. Vaping is a great alternative to smoking. That doesn't mean it's entirely great. And the thing about vaping is that it's still a relatively new concept, and there hasn't been a lot of research into it yet, which means we have to wait a bit more to see what kind of long-term effects vaping has. But from what's going on right now with vaping, it doesn't seem to be that bad, and it's a fantastic alternative to cigarettes. So, yeah, vaping is great. I think the development of vapes is saving a lot of people from cigarettes because that it's miles better from smoking cigarettes. Oh god, there's a fly in my face. Wait, I have to kill it. Jesus Christ. Fuck. Okay, let's go on. Cancer Tutor has dealt with many thousands of cancer patients since 2002. In a high percentage of these cases, the cancer patient could not afford the most expensive alternative cancer treatments, or they could not obtain the strongest products from America. Okay, these patients need to use a combination of very inexpensive protocols which individually and collectively are very effective against cancer. Now the question is, they're inexpensive, each of them, but how expensive are they overall? This is what this protocol is all about. Literally, this protocol is a list of highly effective but dirt cheap alternative cancer treatments. However, there's a lot of synergism built into these protocols, making this protocol far more effective than its individual parts. In addition, everyone should use the beta-glucan by transfer point. It is the #1 immune system product in the world. Beta-glucan? That's a fucking molecule, a carbon chain found in the cell walls of bacteria and fungi. Yeah, I don't know what that would have anything to do with strengthening your immune system. I mean, it's more of a structural molecule, if anything. How old are you? I'm 23 years old. Okay, let me get let me get caught up with Super Chat. $2 from Chris 0081234. Thank you for donating again. You've donated multiple times. Thoughts on biological parents, ex-GMOs? Oh, patents. Sorry, I thought that was parents. I don't like patents in general. I am more for, because I mean, ultimately it's all about the money and stuff, right? I am more for the government being able to control things, especially when it comes to new scientific developments, when it comes to improvements in medicine, because ultimately a lot of things we can develop in the future can be abused by private companies and whatnot. GMOs is like one of those examples. Yeah, I'm all for the government being able to control things like this. Professor Stick, love how the stream was set to be an hour and it's almost 2 hours now. Is it almost 2 hours? I was expecting, I set the goal of 1 hour for myself, but then I actually expect it to be an hour and a half. And I guess we're past that. It's just, I don't have too much to do right now. I mean, it's nice interacting with you guys. But I do have to be right back real quick. I'm going to go use the bathroom real quick, and I think this is the perfect time to see how this ad function works. In case you guys don't know, I actually have an option here, which I just found out, that lets me play an ad in the middle of a stream. So I'm just going to try it out. If you guys don't want to see the ad, just close out or something. I'm just going to try this. Okay, I'm going to be right back as well. Stay safe in the chat. Okay, I'm back. Did the ad work? No ad? Oh, some people got ads. I think if you have an ad block, you wouldn't see the ad. Oh my god, okay. Emerald, you need to stop spamming. Thank you to my moderators. Thank you guys for helping out moderating the chat. I know this is a pretty long stream. Did you wash your hands? Yes, I did wash my hands. Always wash your fucking hands, guys. Jesus Christ. Recent research has shown that vaping is more dangerous than originally thought and makes mucus-producing cells in the throat and lungs more vulnerable to disease. I am not surprised by that. I'm not surprised. That's cool. I always want to read more things, recent research when it comes to things like this. So if you want to send me the article to that, that'd be great. On Discord or something. $5 from Heartboy. Thank you again for donating again. You have donated a lot. Should I get a new heart from a GM pig? How are trials for that? Are we closer to growing one with stem cells? Yeah, genetically modified pigs. That's how we're really going to solve some of the shortages, because normally what we do is that, we have a shortage of organs, and hearts is something that we're really short of. And normally if you get a heart from another person, you wouldn't have too many problems, especially compared to a pig. But pig hearts are very, very susceptible to immune rejection, and it's very susceptible to your body just rejecting it in general, like not being able to function properly with that new heart. So what we're doing is that we are genetically modifying pigs, and these pigs are designed so that they have genetics more closer to human genetics. So as a result, when you put them in, it's not going to be more as susceptible to rejection from the body and from the immune system. So that's sort of, I know that's being developed right now, and that's really great. I really like that, because I think if we can eventually start growing our own organs and whatnot, we could save so many more people. And the thing is, like, the truth is, there are less and less donors of organs, including hearts, like every few decades or so. Because, for example, a lot of the organs we get actually come from people who went into a car accident and was unable to survive. So we take these, and these guys have viable organs. We take their organs if they consented to donating their organs. But cars are becoming much safer now. Cars have built-in systems that make it so that your chances of survival are greater. So less people are dying from car accidents, and guess what happens after that? More people are getting fucked in the hospitals because there's less organs to go around. So if we genetically modify pigs, or if we genetically modify other animals, and I'm pretty sure pigs is the leading option right now, we can solve that problem. We can provide a ton of organs to people who need them. And who cares if, like, I'm sure there's a lot of people who would not take a pig heart for religious reasons, but come on, like, it's the decision between life and death. Wouldn't you rather be alive with a pig heart in your chest than with no heart at all and you're just dead? Do you think a cure for aging will be developed in our lifetime? I think it's very possible, but depends on how old you are. I'm 23, and if you're around my age, it's very possible that our lifespans will at least be extended. I heard from someone that livers can grow back completely. Is this true? If you take out a piece of the liver, it will grow back, yes. I don't know if you mean, like, if you have like a tiny molecule of liver, will it grow back? But yeah. Thanks for answering my question. I'm 15. You're welcome. I would prefer a pig heart to this pacemaker. Yeah, wow, you have a pacemaker? Dude, that sucks, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, people who have to live with certain, like, machinery in their bodies, I feel for you guys, and I hope technology is going to develop better, and eventually you're gonna not need that pacemaker anymore. But, yeah, just stay safe, dude. Your health comes first before anything else. Okay, nothing is gonna matter if you're, like, dead or unhealthy or whatnot, or in the hospital. Hey, I know this is kind of random, but what do you think about banning hate speech? I think that's dangerous, because once you ban hate speech, like, then you have to classify what considers as hate speech, and then you start getting onto the borderline of banning, like, free speech in general. So I think hate speech is one of those that's a really tricky topic, and I think overall you don't really want to ban speech of any kind unless it's someone just, like, purposely threatening shit, or, like, calling out a fire in a movie theater or something like this, or something like that. 5 mil sub face reveal. Hey, my face is already revealed. Just look at the screen. Have you ever done anything with music? Play an instrument? Gotten lessons? Yeah. So when I was a kid, I had lessons for piano, and I played piano for quite a bit. And then I moved out of the state I was living in. So and then going to a new school, I didn't really get a chance to play. While I was in high school, I actually also had guitar lessons, specifically electric guitar. So now I can play some really really introductory guitar stuff and kind of a bit of piano, like nothing too hardcore. I really like music. It's just, I didn't really have the opportunity to play, especially when you go to college. You sort of just eventually stop playing your musical instrument, and that's kind of sad. If you guys are young and play musical instruments and are about to go to college, try to find a way to keep playing that musical instrument. That's how you get better, and you don't want to forget. Professor Stick, your favorite anime? It's so I do have a list of top 3. My favorite anime, I like Mirai Nikki, and I'd probably place that as 3rd. That's Future Diary. I don't know if you guys have seen that or not. Steins Gate number 2, and number 1 I like Made in Abyss. Made in Abyss is a new one that came out. I really like that anime. It's pretty good. But then again, I haven't watched a lot of anime, so I watch a lot of the mainstream ones. Do a face reveal or I will DDoS you and reveal to everyone, including aliens. I don't think DDoSing is the same as doxing. Did you mean doxing? Yeah, you could DDoS me. I don't care. No, just kidding. Please don't do it. What's my favorite song? I don't really listen to music that much, so I can't actually answer that question. Sorry. Play something next stream if possible. Ooh, if I play something like music? Do you mean... Oh, yeah, you mean music. Okay, yeah. I mean, there's an electric piano here that doesn't belong to me, but I guess I could play something. It's just, you guys would probably break your eardrums or something. Have you built your own PC? If so, what are your specs? I have built my PC, and I kind of regret building my PC for a number of reasons, which I won't go over now, but my specs, I have Core i7, 7700K. Wow, I hardly remember what I bought. What did I buy? What the fuck? Oh, I bought a 1060 graphics card. Don't really remember. 2 4 gigabytes memories, SSD cards. I have a 1 terabyte internal hard drive. What else is there? I don't remember a lot of the information. I'm not really a computer person. I was sort of going off other people's recommendations. Professor Stick, when do you think we'll see that new outro? You guys will see the outro next Wednesday. So the video that's coming out this weekend on Saturday will not have the new outro. The new outro is going to come out next Wednesday. And I would show you guys if you want. In fact, go follow me on Twitter. I might, and I think I will, just post the new outro on Twitter before you actually see it in the video. So if you want to just take a look, follow me on Twitter. There's a procedure to do to an organ so the body doesn't reject it. I'll DM you on Discord about it later. Okay, yeah, sure. DM me. Play a video game on another stream. I've never seen a scientist play a video game. Recommend Nier Automata. My brother has played a ton of Nier Automata. He finished the game, and I've had a few friends who played it, and they all said really good things about it. And I might consider trying it, I heard it's really cancer to play on the keyboard though, so I might have to actually buy like a controller for that. I don't know, but in response to playing a video game on stream, I'm probably not going to, simply because maybe you're interested in it, but a lot of people aren't, and I don't want to do something that's kind of off topic. And this is something that Heath actually did, and I don't want to shit talk Heath or anything. And this is not a shit talk, and like no offense whatsoever to him, but like I think streaming games on his channel, on his main channel, actually hurt him a lot in terms of the YouTube algorithm. And I never really told him that. Did I? I might have. I don't know. But he doesn't do it anymore. Professor Stick, you need to play League. I'll play League but off stream. Also, how the hell do your little stick arms use the keys? I tap them with my entire arm. What does your age demographic look? That's very interesting. So the majority of people are aged between 18 and 24, but that's followed very closely behind by people who are aged 25 to 32. All right, I have to get through this more. Haha. I'll get to the chat more later. Okay, use 14 items every day. A patient should use 14 or more of the items on the DCP list. Use the items every day. Jesus Christ, like, does anyone have the patience to use 14 of these items every day? Okay, you need to use 3 required items, 1 highly alkaline item, 10 from the other sections of the DCP list. Why is it so vague? If your cancer treatment is so good on cancer and it can somehow cure all cancers, shouldn't it be at least somewhat specific on what you have to do? Like, do you really give... You don't really have the freedom of treatment. I mean, that's just another sign of this being pseudoscience, is that they don't really say absolutely you have to follow this protocol and whatnot. They just kind of give you an option, you know. They go like, oh, choose some from this list, combine it together. I mean, that's an obvious red flag right there. You should debunk flat earth theories. Yes, maybe I'll do it live one day. Play something right now on that piano, I dare you, or I'll find you and I will make you pay, god damn it. Yes, okay. You know, come on, I'm not that scared. You don't know where I live. I mean, you can't pass through the stick dimension. It's just not possible. Do you wish you started YouTube earlier? Yes, I always, you know, that's why I always encourage people to do YouTube. And for any of you guys who are thinking about starting a channel, do it now. Don't fucking wait, because it's so great. Like, I think a lot of people are going to say, a lot of successful YouTubers at least, or at least somewhat successful, maybe in a few 100K range, they would say they wish they started YouTube earlier. And I'm one of those people. I wish I started YouTube way earlier. Because, you know, imagine if I started YouTube back when YouTube just became a thing, where all the big shot guys like Thunderfoot, Armored Skeptic, and like Logic, for example, imagine like those people, when they started YouTube, they started from the very beginning, and they're really successful now and stuff. And it's just, you know, it builds up over time. So if you want to get to an end goal sooner, you're gonna have to start sooner. Professor Stick, I know you live in California. I don't know about that, man. I don't know. Okay, I'll say I have been to California, but I'm not in California. that eliminates one place. And I do live in the United States, so you got 49 states more to guess. Play a song via whistling, Professor Stick. Well, my mouth is really dry right now from talking. I don't think I'll be playing a song. You just reminded me to get some water. Wow, we are approaching the 2-hour mark. Okay. As we mentioned above, fighting cancer is like fighting a fire. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, we read that. Also, advanced cancer patients should also study the unlimited power protocol, which is discussed below. Okay, we might not get to that. The unlimited power protocol is an expansion of this protocol, but even if a cancer patient uses the unlimited power protocol, they must use 14 items which are actually in this dirt cheap protocol. Okay, is it necessary? Okay, whatever. Oh, advanced cancer patients. Okay, all right. You know, I'm curious to see what it is. Okay, codes used for the dirt cheap protocol. Okay, codes. Blah. Okay, I don't fucking care about the codes. Required items. MSM, okay, that's one that we talked about already. Vitamin C protocols. A lot of people think taking vitamin C is just going to boost your immune system. Guys, if you take excess vitamin C, it's not going to boost your immune system that significantly. The only reason you should take vitamin C supplements if you want to boost your immune system is if you're already deficient in vitamin C. If you're deficient in vitamin C, take vitamin C. But if you have enough vitamin C, you don't need to take vitamin C. It's not going to help you additionally. Just so you guys know. It's part of another misconception a lot of people have. Beta-glucan. So this is, yeah, that's just part of the cell walls in bacteria and fungi cells. And it's also found in cereal too. I don't know how it can build your immune system like this. Like, what's this? You know what? I'm going to, oh shit. What'd I do? Okay, yeah. Where does this site lead to? Wait. What'd I do? Oh, it just leads me here. Oh, I thought it would lead you to a site to buy them. Okay, you know what? This is interesting. So a lot of this is actually going to go over what each of these do. That's interesting. Okay, honestly, I don't know a lot of these things that are here. Like Parazapra, what the fuck is that? What else? Astaxanthin, I have no idea what that is. A lot of these things, they like to give a lot of substances that even I don't know. Which is why, you know, when I make a cancer video and whatnot, I'm always going to have to do research. Like, it may not seem like it, but I'm always constantly researching. Professor Stick, are you gonna be on Discord a little while after the stream? You know what? You know what? I guess yeah, I'll go hang around on Discord for a bit. Maybe I'll go into the voice channel, but I do have something I have to do later, so that means if I go on that, that means less time streaming. I would have to leave the stream earlier. Professor Stick, I know your last name. What's my last name? Isn't it Stick? If you say Professor, whatever, you say the person's last name, right? Right? My last name is Stick, right? The real question is, what is my first name? Has anything scary ever happened to you? No, not really. Okay, the scariest. Okay, interesting story. Just for lulz. When I was a kid, I watched a fucking Japanese horror film. I watched The Grudge when I was like 7 years old or something, and that scared the fuck out of me. That for the next while, I couldn't be alone by myself in a room because I was just so fucking frightened. Oh my god, never ever let your kids watch a horror film before they turn like 15 or something. It's gonna scar them, or at least it scarred me. I don't know. But I do actually enjoy horror right now. I enjoy watching horror films, and I also enjoy playing horror games. Or I watch a lot of YouTubers play horror games, like Markiplier or Dashi. Or not, they're pretty funny, and I think the horror games they play are really interesting. I like horror games. My full name is Stick Stick. Yes. Can you solve a Rubik's Cube? How fast? The fastest I gotten was 1 minute 40, but that was a long time ago. I haven't played a Rubik's Cube for so long, so it's probably going to be at least like 3 minutes now. All right, anyway, let's go through this. Immune building, blah, blah, blah. What the fuck is all of this? Okay, we're going to scroll down to these things. These two protocols are based on solid theory and impressive testimonials. Okay, well, if it's based on solid theory, something just being based on theory isn't good enough. You have to actually show that it works in clinical trials and that it works in the lab. And testimonials are even worse. We don't take testimonies in science. We don't listen to what people say in science when it comes to developing medicine. Somebody might say, oh, smashing this rock against my head cured my cancer. Like, are you going to fucking do it? And it's the same. You have to show that it actually works. And, people's testimonies it's just not scientific proof when it comes to anything regarding, developing scientific theories or proving something to be true in science. Okay. LIPH, LIF, being a homeopathic protocol, gets inside the cancer cells and kill the other cancer microbes. You guys know what I think about homeopathic medications, right? I mean, I never made a medicine on homeopathy, but I'm sure you guys know what I think about homeopathic treatments. It's a load of bullshit. What are your thoughts on ligma disease? I think ligma disease is kind of dumb. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. It's kind of dumb. How did something like that become popular? Okay, in case you guys don't know, ligma disease is a made-up disease that people made up, going like, oh, Ninja. If you guys don't know who Ninja is, he was like, he didn't stream one day or something, and then people were like, oh, he died of ligma, and ligma is just a made-up disease. I was away for a few hours and you're still streaming. Okay. Let's not spam my name. Oh, yeah, don't spam my name. Or don't spam in general. The perfect name. Professor Stick, gotta go. It's been great. Bye. See ya. Have a good day. Professor Stick, are you a socialist? Also, do you have a stick girlfriend? To answer the first question, I do adapt some socialist ideas. I really don't want to talk about politics because I'm going to go on massive rants about it. Also, do you have a stick girlfriend? No, I just went through a breakup like a month ago, which was pretty bad. It was a 6-year relationship, so pretty bad. I'm laughing right now, but deep down, I'm like hurting inside. Horror film suggestions. Japanese. I think any non-Hollywood horror films are good. Well, maybe not any, but Japanese and Korean horror are pretty good. Japanese especially. Fucking nothing scares me right now. Like, Like if I see zombies, if I see like ghosts, if I see demons in like horror films, they don't scare me anymore. But the one thing that scares the fuck out of me, the one thing that fucks me up is that fucking Japanese girl bitch ass from from The Grudge or The Ring, like the common like horror figure that they have in Japanese movie studios. It's pretty horrifying. Jesus Christ. Sorry to hear about your breakup. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Thanks for your empathy. It's okay. It's okay though. I'm actually adapting much better than I thought. It's all good. And I think my biggest passion right now is doing YouTube and doing this for you guys. And as long as I have my YouTube channel, I think I'm gonna be okay. Um, like you could take a lot of things away from me. You could take away any other career path I have. You can take away, um, okay, maybe not my friends and family, but you could take a lot away from me. And as long as I have YouTube, it's gonna be okay. Professor Stick, have you ever met Ema? No. Wait, who's Ema? What? Robert Pliss. Professor Sig, do you have a job besides YouTube? Right now, I am not doing anything. Temporarily, for like a few months or so, I am just doing YouTube full time. But I am going back to school. So what I'm doing is I'm going to take some community college classes on the side. And I'm going to start learning about computer science. And then after I do some computer science, then I'm going to I'm going to aim for a master's in bioinformatics, where I can combine my bio knowledge with some computer science stuff. So that's sort of where I go. It's just kind of horrible because unless you're going to like med school and stuff, having a biology degree is pretty shit, which is why if people tell me to get, like, people tell me all the time on Discord, like I've inspired them to do a biology major. It's just, I'm sorry to say, but it's not an optimal career path unless you have that determination to go to pharmacy, medical school, or like pediatrics, or not pediatrics, but like podiatrics, or like optometry and whatnot. Or even if you have the passion to go and do a PhD, it's still pretty shit. Like scientists, PhD scientists, the people who are responsible for developing new medicine, for society, improving medicine and stuff, these people get paid jack shit. If you're a PhD, and it kind of frustrates me how that's the case, how there are people who do work much less. They influence society much less than what these PhD researchers are doing and these professors and whatnot, and they make so much more money. People who do research have the toughest life. They have the passion to do it, and that's what's driving them. It's never going to be about the money. It's never going to be like it being low stress. It's always going to be high stress. You're always pressured, to discover new things and stuff. The lifestyle and the career option is tough. So I have so much respect for these guys who are willing to do it, and they get paid like absolutely nothing for it. Well, not nothing, but very little. Why is biology major bad? Well, I just kind of said it. It's just the career options are pretty bad. The field is oversaturated. So if there's a lot of people who are doing biology because people are interested in science. I admit biology is really fucking awesome, and I can understand that a lot of people want to do it. But because it's so oversaturated, your career options are pretty limited. So for those of you asking me for career advice, I always say go for computer science, because we're always going to need more software engineers, especially in the future when more and more of our society is going to be taken over by AI and robots. We're going to need a lot of software engineers and stuff. The most scary thing that happened to me when I went on dark web and a person called me saying they were going to kill me, but I'm still alive. Yeah. You hear a lot of horror stories of the dark web, but usually they're not really it's not that horrifying, of all the things that you see on the dark web. But I'm glad you're alive, man. If that happened to me, I would freak out. I would fucking move to like another country or something. It's not worth it. Professor say, do you like demonetization? I don't know if anyone likes demonetization, except for viewers. Do you guys like demonetization? I mean, sure, YouTubers are getting less money, but you guys don't have to watch as many ads. Or you're already on ad block and it didn't matter to you to begin with. Okay. Yeah, ad block, man. It's the bane of all YouTubers. Professor Sig, is dark web illegal? A lot of the dark web is illegal. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't know anything about computers. But my brother, the guy who designed the new outro for me, he is an expert on computers and the internet and stuff. He would be able to answer this question, but I can't. Professor Steak, do you like hentai? I actually don't. If anything, it's a turn off for me. And if you want to know my fetishes, I'm not going to tell you because that is secret information. Okay? No, I disable ad block for you. Thank you. You're a nice person. For you guys who disable ad block, or for those of you who watch the ads, or if you pay for YouTube Red or YouTube Premium, or if you donate money to your creators, you guys are the best. And this community on YouTube would not be possible without you guys. You have a brother? Is he a professor? Nah, he's just a software engineer. Professor says, do you think paramedics and firefighters should get paid more? See, the paramedics and firefighters, I don't know too much about firefighters, but paramedics, it's not too difficult to get into like a EMT position, but I do think they should be paid more. I think them getting paid less than some fast food workers is pretty ridiculous. Okay. Oh, let's keep going. Where did I stop? Thus, reverting the cancer cells to normal cells. Okay, well, like I said, some cancer treatments do revert cancer cells back into normal cells. Yes. And these serve to inhibit growth factors, but not necessarily activate apoptotic pathways in the cell. But most of the treatments, from what I'm aware of, is that it kills cancer cells directly. LIF does not need the MSM to get inside the cancer cells because the cancer cells need LIF is nothing but water. I don't think MSM is used as a solvent to bring drugs into cells. But being homeopathic, the water is vibrating and can kill microbes inside the cancer cells and in the bloodstream. Yes, the water is vibrating. Okay, all molecules are vibrating, yes. Yes, but the vibration of water molecules is not going to kill the microbes. Microbes themselves live in water that's already slightly vibrating. Wait, what's going on? When you develop homeopathic molecules, does the vibrate? Does the water vibrate more? Like, if you put your hand in it, can you feel the fucking water vibrating? I mean, sure, maybe if you're boiling the water or something, which you don't want to stick your hand into. Like, what the fuck is this? What does it mean the water is vibrating? How does the... I mean, yeah, okay. Hey, Cyprian Smith, please don't spam. Guys, come on. I trust you guys. And thank you to thank you to the mods who are working hard to keep this chat safe and stuff. All right, donations. $2 from Heartboy. Thank you again for donating. Jesus Christ, you are generous. I never donate. Only losers do that. Well, we're all losers deep down. Thank you for the money, though. That's really generous of you. $7 from Den and Dixon. What's the weirdest fact about biology you know? Okay, I'm going to have to think about that. The weirdest fact in biology. I don't really hear a lot about weird facts, but more so about like mind-blowing facts, I guess you could say there are some things like I guess a weird fact. Oh yeah, okay. Here's a weird one. Here's an interesting one. So when you're in the womb and you're being developed, you're either male or female depending on what chromosome you received from your father, right? So the chromosome that you receive, the Y chromosome determining your male gender, the specific part of the chromosome that makes you male is a gene called the SRY gene, which is funny because, if you say it's like the sorry gene, like sorry for being male. But anyway, it's the SRY gene. And if that is present, you develop the testes. If the testes are developed, then you secrete testosterone. If you secrete testosterone, that leads you to develop other male parts. And also dissolves some organs that would have became the female organs. Like you have the Mullerian duct that would be form female organs if you didn't have testes. But what the testes do is that they release some hormones, and it inhibits the growth of the Mullerian duct, and you don't become female. So that's pretty interesting. But the cool thing is that if you have some deficiencies, or if you have a rare genetic defect or something like that, it's possible to have testes that aren't functional and you still develop female organs. Or you could also have a number of different combinations. You could have male organs but still be female. Like there are a few varieties that could actually happen. And these people, can you call them male or can you call them female? That's for you to decide. But that can happen in biology. Although rare, it does happen, and that's from a defection on the development of the testes, or the ability for the Mullerian duct to detect the testes, or maybe like a lack of secretion of testosterone from the testes. Okay, cool. Let's get back to the chat. Did you ever self-promote when you started YouTube? No, I never self-promoted, because here's the thing. From the beginning, I kind of knew self-promotion is never going to get you to be famous. It's never really going to get you to the status of other YouTubers, unless these YouTubers specifically come out and shout out your channel. It's self-promotion. How many people are going to see your self-promotion to begin with? And out of these people, how many are going to subscribe, and how many are actually going to be long-term viewers? It's just probability-wise that just doesn't happen. People aren't really interested when you self-promote, which is why I have a self-promotion channel of mine. It's not really like you can promote yourself in my channel in the right channel, but it's not going to do you much. Self-promotion, it's a very shameless thing to do that a lot of people think is very shameless, but I do understand why people do it. When I started off, I did have temptations to actually self-promote, but I decided I didn't end up doing any of that, and I just don't think self-promotion is going to help you that much. Okay. I think you should also make content about biology like course, basically, and it would add some variety to your content, attract new people, and help people understand your response. Wow, you kind of read my mind, because that's what's happening on my second channel. Oh shit, I spoke too much. Forget everything I said. It's not, no information is public yet. You didn't hear from me. I went on the dark web to search memes. Yeah. Well, does the dark web have like the freshest memes or something? When in the Discord, please go to learning. I posted a question that's going to be interesting to you. My Discord name is the master, but my name looks corrupted. Okay, yeah, sure. Do you tag me? And if you tag me, I'll most likely see it. Okay, let's continue. The MSM portion of this protocol is actually organic sulfur and is a superb cancer treatment by itself, as it grabs oxygen from water and shoves it inside of both the cancer cells and non-cancer cells. But the MSM also helps lift, get inside the cancer cells to help to kill microbes. Also included in this section is MSM and vitamin C. So here's like organic sulfur. There's actually a branch in conspiracy theorists that basically says that if you introduce sulfur into your body, you're going to be able to kill the cancer cells. I'm not entirely familiar with this claim because I haven't looked into it, but I do know it's absolute nonsense. That's what I do know. Okay. What made you want to go into science, or was there too many flat earthers for you to deal with, so you had to prove them wrong? I went to science because I was interested in it, and it wasn't just any science. I wasn't that interested in physics, but chemistry a little bit, but biology was really what made me go into science. I did biology in freshman and sophomore years in high school, and I really loved it. So I ended up pursuing biology, and then I took higher level biology courses in high school, which eventually transitioned into me becoming a bio major in college. And I always had the goal of going to med school, but that's no longer a goal that I have. I actually got an offer and I turned it down, in case you guys don't follow me on Twitter. Can stickmen mate with yordles? No. What do you think about Minecraft? I think Minecraft is a great game. I tried it, but I couldn't get into it. Have you heard of Eva Vertes? She's a brain cancer researcher. Her findings are the basis of our argument that cancer itself is the body's natural self-repair system in error. That's not right. Okay, if you think cancer is a way that the body uses to fix itself in any way, that's not right. Cancer is a disease, and we have actually evolved so that our bodies actually, you know, fight back cancer in terms of the immune cell. I don't know who that person is. What is it? Eva Verdes. I don't know who she is. I mean, if you want to send me like an article or a paper that she published, you know, that'd be great. I could read through it. Okay, so anyway, it's getting pretty long, so I'm not going to stop it just yet, but I am going to stop going through this website. Yeah, I didn't get through any at all. I was hoping to at least get through two different articles, or not two, but at least talk about it like a little bit. But I guess we can hardly even go through one, so yeah, sorry about that, guys. Maybe I'll continue some other time, but I do want to add variety to what I stream, so if you have any other websites you want me to go over, just send it to me. I do want to look for a different variety of material, and I think that's good for everyone. All right, so before I go, I'm just gonna spend some time to just read some chats, I guess. I've been doing that a lot, but I'll just maybe for the next 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'll end the stream. Professor Stick, have you ever smoked weed? I have not tried weed. No. I was never really interested in trying it. That's simply the case. Can baby have neither male or female body type? So the reason you can't, that's not possible, is because female is the default body type. If you're not male, you're default to female. Female is the default. Surprise, surprise. So you can't be neither male or female body parts. There's no such thing as like being physically non-male or non-female. It's just, in science at least, that's not the case. Okay. Now, okay, keep that away from politics, I guess. I mean, if people want to call themselves non-binary, you know, science doesn't really agree with you, but I don't fucking care what people call themselves. It's just, you know, don't force it on other people is what I would say. If you want to call yourself non-binary, I just don't give enough shits. Okay. I assume you have another job outside of YouTube. What do you do? Research? Can you tell us about it? So right now I don't have a job outside of YouTube. Right now I'm doing YouTube full time. But it only lasted, it started like 2 months ago or something, but it's not going to be much longer because I'm going back and doing some classes. And at the same time, I'm going to be looking for a lab position. Perhaps I want to get more into the computers and biology research, so more bioinformatics. I think that's cool. Although all my experience is in the wet lab right now. Like I'm used to doing hands-on things like Western blots, you know, dealing with mice and that kind of stuff. I don't do a lot of behind the scenes things like what bioinformaticians do. But I'm hoping to get into it. But if you want to know what I did previously, I was helping out at a lab that was looking at ovarian cancer. I was working under a supervisor, and her research. I don't know if I can disclose this information. Wait, can I? Wait, I feel like I could. Okay, I'll just be really general. But it was on ovarian cancer, and she was looking at a specific type of protein that had a relationship to another specific type of protein that is already like really well known, and she wanted to see how the expression of that protein, how it affects metastasis, or how it affects how the cell migrates from one tissue to the next. What's your favorite non-science subject? Film, definitely film, which is why I love YouTube, because it combines film-ish kind of and also science. How do you know about medicine without med school? There are just some things you learn. Like regular bachelors in biology, you're probably not going to learn about a lot of medicine. But I tend to read up on things, and I have learned about it in some very special circumstances. That's sort of how I know. I know about some things. Okay, I know very little. Okay, please don't come to me for medical advice because I'm not going to be able to give you the right medical advice. Is your real name Blotto? No. Interesting. Blotto is a name of a liquid that we use in Western. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about that. What's your opinion on communism? I said this in a previous video. Communism, I don't think it can sustain itself right now, but I do think in the future, when whether or not you disagree, this is just my opinion. In the future, when everything's being taken over by technology, and everything is taken over by robots where pretty much nobody works. If we live in a society of capitalism, what's going to happen is you're going to have a few rich individuals, insanely rich individuals, and a bunch of people who are like incredibly poor. And I think that the solution to that would be communism. But you would have to make sure that the government isn't corrupt. So they have to own all the technology. And number two, that they would that there would be definitely enough resources to go around to everybody. So that would be an ideal state of society in which nobody works at all. And I think we are striving towards a future where nobody will have to work if society lasts that long. Maybe a few thousand years in the future, or maybe a few hundred, I don't know, where technology takes over everything. You know, you and I, we don't necessarily would have to work at all, and the government would provide everything to us. I'm working on med school requirements. Should I apply for an MD or DO? They both have full practice privileges in all 50 states. Okay, here's the thing. DOs is basically the same as MD. If you never plan to leave the United States, you can go for DO, but DO is not recognized in a lot of countries. But you're probably going to stay in the United States, which means either is fine. In fact, the line between each of them is so thin now that they're planning to combine the DO and the MD programs of residency to one so that they're actually together. DO is not easy. Statistics-wise, DOs actually have a lower chance of actually getting in, even if you have, even though it has a lower average MCAT score and a lower average GPA. Don't underestimate DOs. DOs is a great place to go to. So if you want to do DOs, I'd say it's a good backup plan. Apply to MDs and DOs is what I would recommend. What are your starting items? Boots, potions, or Doran's? If I'm playing mid lane, I start with Doran's ring and 2 pots. If I'm AD carry, I just start with the standard Doran's blade with 1 pot. I play mid and AD carry mostly. Do you have a professor prefix in real life, or are you aiming to become one? See, I don't have a professor prefix in real life. I just sort of thought of this. I never thought that my channel would gain much traction. I never thought I would even pass 10K. Or 1K, much less 100,000K. So I guess thinking back, I shouldn't have put the professor in my name, because now people are gonna think I'm a real professor, but I'm not an actual professor, even though I would love to be one. I love teaching. I would love to be one. And I wouldn't mind getting a master's in bioinformatics and then becoming a biology professor in a community college. Because in case you guys don't know, you can be a professor in a community college just with a master's. Professor Stick, what is the deepest voice you can make? I guess that. I don't know. Why exactly did you become an atheist? I heard you were a Christian as a kid, so I was wondering why. I was kind of a Christian, like I believe in God and Jesus, but I was never hardcore. I never adapted the traditions. I never adapted the practices like praying and whatnot. And I never really went to church. I went to church like once or twice in my life. So I guess by definition wise, you could call me a Christian, but I wasn't really. And it was simply because I didn't think about it for so long. I was just kind of going throughout life without doing anything, without thinking about religion or science at all for that matter. And then after high school, I was sort of like, it's just not really my cup of tea. And it sounds kind of bullshit, especially after I learned everything about the scientific method. Yeah, Doran's ring start is godlike on the likes of Yasuo. Fuck Yasuo. I hate that champ. Which games do you play? Do you play Rainbow Six Siege? I don't play Rainbow Six Siege. I play League of Legends. I play sometimes Fortnite, and I play some solo games like Ori and the Blind Forest, which I'm working on right now. And I just finished Tomb Raider. Who is your favorite Flat Earther to debunk? I guess Flat Earth Asshole was pretty cool to debunk because the way his videos were structured, it was kind of easy, I guess, is what I would say. Question I ask every streamer: soap soup or soup soap? Oh my god. Interesting. Soup soap sounds like it would be less. So let's go with that. Are you and Vice still an item? An item? Well, we're cool, I guess, but I don't know what you mean by an item. I'm Hindu, but not a hardcore religious man. I'm a man of science. My religion is honestly hard to explain. Yes. As long as you're not too hardcore on it, I'm not gonna, like, I don't have too much I don't have problems with religious people. What I do have a problem is if they come out and say things that are contradictory to science, which is why I don't go too much on the philosophy of like religion and atheism and stuff. I more so answer creationists who are talking about, if the Earth is 6,000 years old and whatnot. So yeah, I mean that's cool. I mean I know we got a few Christians around here. I didn't know we had people who were part of Hinduism. What do you think about Nunu rework? I think it's kind of overdue. He was kind of an old champ, but at the same time, I don't care too much because I don't play Nunu. And I like playing against Nunu. Johnny boy, notice me, senpai. I see you. I see you. Professor Stick, I believe that we did a lot to change the climate, but I also believe that some of the forces that make the Earth warm up in this time also comes naturally. Do you kind of agree? Certainly there are natural forces. Yes, I'm not denying that, but that doesn't mean the humans aren't responsible for the majority of changes that are going on right now. And the dangerous part is, yes, temperatures and CO2 levels have been this high like millions of years in the past. That is true, but never has it increased at such an alarming rate as it is now. And that's the distinction to make. Animals, for example, species, the ecosystem can adapt if the climate is changing at a slow rate. But the rate it is changing now, many species are going extinct. That will disrupt food chains. It would disrupt natural resources, and it's going to affect a lot of things that's going to happen in our everyday lives in terms of the ecosystem. And that's just one part of climate change. So the key here is how fast, the Earth is warming up. So yes, there are natural forces. A lot of it is going to be natural, but humans play a massive role in this. Okay. What's your opinion on string theory? I think it's a very interesting theory, but the math works with it. Just I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent. Whether or not it's true is not something I'm really concerned about with, I guess. Simply because I'm not qualified enough to speak on that. Who are your top 3 bans in draft? You guys are asking a lot of League of Legends questions. My top 3 bans, I always ban Fizz because I hate that champ. I'm glad they nerfed him in the last patch. I sometimes ban Jhin simply because he's picked so often. But I just hate assassins in general, so I would also ban Yasuo or Zed. As a mid laner, because I play mages. Professor Stick, please notice me. I see you, Deforestation Nation. Professor Stick, Hunter Avalon got pissed at climate change on Twitter. Really? What did he... Hunter... I'm not a fan of Hunter Avalon. I'm just not a big fan of him. I think his views are so conservative. I think they're borderline dangerous. Sorry to those of you who are conservatives in the chat. I am a liberal, so I think your ideas are ridiculous. I just got back. Where are we? So I'm about to end the stream, but I'm just spending a bit more time talking to you guys. Just, for you guys who have questions, trying to get to as many as I can. So right now, you don't have to donate on the super chat or anything because I'll probably see yours. Just post it again every few minutes or so. I'll probably see it. Do you watch anime? If so, do you have any recommendations? I watch some anime, but I'm really picky about it. I answered this earlier. I recommend Made in Abyss. That is my favorite anime right now. But other than that, I do highly recommend Steins Gate. Steins Gate is great. I'm just not a big fan of slice of life anime, but out of the slice of life animes, I do like Agretsuko. Shinibyo is okay. I'm not a weeb, okay, guys? Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, I've watched some deeper anime that the mainstream aren't gonna watch. I've watched some. That doesn't mean I enjoy them all. Do you like Attack on Titan? I think it's slightly overrated, but it's still good. I really like the action and the choreography that they do on Attack on Titan. And that's something about My Hero Academia. I don't know if you guys watched it, but I hate the fucking action scenes in My Hero. And I think My Hero winning Best Action in last year Anime Awards was absolutely ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about anime. I'm very liberal. Kyle, was it Secular Talk, right? Yeah, and the Young Turks is the best credible political news source. I really like Kyle. I really like Secular Talk. I think his information is very accurate. But the Young Turks is a bit of controversy. Although they are left-wing, which is more suited, I feel like they're a little bit too left for me. They do also spread a lot of misinformation, which is not that great. But overall, you know, that doesn't mean the majority of what they say is misinformation and whatnot. I do think they do some good work, like a lot of good work. Sorry for all the liberals talking in stream, but I think your ideas are ridiculous. Okay. I mean, we're all entitled to our own opinions. We can go in any direction. I mean, it's just ultimately politics is opinion, right? I mean, it's going to be your opinion on what you think is best. But I am mostly liberal, partly because I think liberal ideologies in the government is what's going to properly advance scientific technology. And it's going to make our society more towards the ideal society in which, you know, we have all these futuristic things like genetically modified humans or technology that takes over our jobs and whatnot. Okay. What's the dumbest flat earth argument you have ever heard? I think saying that water seeks its level is by far the fucking dumbest argument ever. Holy, it makes me, I do headbangs on my desk, you know, like, ow, fuck. Because that argument is so goddamn stupid. I actually did hit my head there. It kind of hurt. Do you know a lot about history? No, I don't actually know too much about history, which is why I'm not an expert on history. So don't ask me about history stuff. I drew you while watching a stream. Do you want me to upload it in Discord? Yes, there's an art channel. Post it there and tag me. I would love to see it. Is water wet? I don't know. I feel like the definition of wet means that only solid things can be wet. So in that definition, no. But if you say water is wet, I don't really care. Skull 6, notice me. I notice you. I see you. Let's see. TYT host, Kent has some things I don't agree with, but they're fairer than most sources. They do get things wrong, but they correct themselves to point out. Oh, okay, that's good. I don't really keep up with them, so I don't really see them correcting themselves too much. But if you say they do, then that's good. I mean, everyone should be correcting themselves if they know that, you know, they said something wrong. How fast do you think tech will take over? It's going to take a long time, not in our lifetime, so don't look forward to it. But you can probably, maybe we'll develop ways to extend our lifespans for this generation. Very, very, very possible. Oh, super chat. This is for the headbangs, boy. $4 by Denon Dixon. Thank you. Yes. Those are very expensive headbangs. I mean, I did 2 headbangs and that was $4. So that costed you $2 for a headbang. Okay, so yeah, I mean, well, YouTube does take some of it, a little bit of it. I don't know. What do you guys think of the Streamlabs I've been using? I mean, I've been researching and I've sort of learned on how to use Streamlabs, how like donations and memberships actually pop up on screen. What do you guys think about that? I think it's pretty cool. You can also customize the images that you use and also the sound that plays. I think it's great. Although it kind of scares me while I'm talking sometimes. How did you come up with your channel name? I sat down one time and I thought about it. Very lame story, I know. I wanted my avatar to be a stick figure, so I wanted it to be stick related. And it turned out really well. I feel like I really branded myself. This is great. Please do Instagram. Even just in stream, there are some proper gems to debunk. Okay, well, I mean, I could go on Instagram and find some things to debunk, maybe. What's your favorite country? I don't really have a favorite country. I think Canada's pretty cool. But the United States is just, I don't know. Too many things about the US kind of bothers me right now. I can't really say it's my favorite, even though I live here. Do play Fiddlesticks? Only if I'm trolling at support. I know it's not a troll pick, but whatever. Will you stick with YouTube? Yes, I love YouTube. Whenever people ask me, should I stream on Twitch or should I stream on YouTube? Like people who are starting to stream, I always say YouTube because I think YouTube is so much better for so much more friendly towards people who are just starting out. If you guys want to start out gaming or whatnot, you can create regular videos and upload on YouTube. The YouTube algorithm will sort them out, and if you get a video that goes viral or whatnot, you can always, you know, build up off of that. People will discover your channel, they'll subscribe to you, and then they will watch your streams. You can do streams on the side, or you can even wait until you're bigger until you do streams. Twitch, you will never have that. Your stream will not go viral. You're competing against so many people, and just YouTube is so much better, okay? Not to mention that Twitch also takes a much larger cut for people who subscribe. Twitch takes a 50% cut, and if you do it for long enough, they will change to a 40%, but YouTube will only take 30%. That is much worse than Patreon, though, because Patreon only takes 5%. So yeah, I like YouTube. I think YouTube is better in a lot of ways. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are things that Twitch does better than YouTube, but you know, I think YouTube is going to be bigger than Twitch eventually, and it's going to overshadow Twitch and maybe even Patreon. Ooh, £5 from Oception. What can we do daily to work against climate change, and anything else on that topic? See, it's very difficult to actually go and make an impact as an individual, but that doesn't mean you can't do things by yourself. What we really need, in my opinion, is we need policy changes to get out there and stop too much pollution from getting out and that kind of stuff. Move to renewable resources. What you can do as an individual: you can do things like you can turn off your lights if you're not using them. If you don't need the heater, you don't have to use it. Things like conserve energy, recycle is great. If you have any cans, plastic bottles, anything like that, even if you have to like walk an extra distance just to recycle materials, I think that's a great thing to do. Things like that you can do. Yeah. Thanks for the £5. How important do you think /know a PhD is if you are trying to become a researcher in scientific fields? Wait, I'm trying to understand the question. How important do you think? Okay. Okay. So this is how the scientific field works, especially in biology. I don't know how it is in terms of if you're doing physics and whatnot, but for chemistry and biology, if you have a bachelor's, you will likely, but of course there are exceptions, not get your own project, which means you're not going to go and you're not going to have your own research project. Like things like, if you want to study a specific protein and what it means for cancer, you don't really get to do that if you're a bachelor's. If you're a bachelor's, you usually help out with other people's projects, and you sort of help. You can write papers for them. You can manage the lab, that kind of stuff, but you probably won't have your own research. If you want to do your own research, go to graduate school. In graduate school, one of the requirements for a biology master's is that you need to do your own research, and you need to defend your thesis in front of a crowd, in front of PhDs, like professors. So you'll have your own project there. But of course, the project you do in graduate school is not necessarily something that's going to be too like outstanding or whatnot. It could be something super simple. I mean, I know somebody who just did something in terms of printing color in 3D models. And like fixing an issue and the efficiency of that, and he got his master's through that. But after you get your master's and you're doing a PhD, you're gonna do a bunch of research and publish a bunch of papers once you're doing a PhD. So that your paper gets a bit more hardcore. After you're done with your PhD, you can do a postbac program, a postdoc. And your postdoc, you're going to be doing a lot of research. So if you go towards the path of PhD, you're going to be doing a lot of your own projects. But if you don't go to graduate school, you probably won't get your own project. $5 from Palace One. Stick, have you considered that video I shared with you via Twitter? I don't remember. I get quite a few videos. You can share it to me, paste it to me again, or put it in Discord. Or you can PM me in Discord as well. $2 from Cerebus Vilton. Will you ever do a face reveal? Love your vids. Okay, I joke around that. I'm like, I'm already revealing my face. But when my second channel comes out, you might see my face. Let's just leave it at that. When the second channel is going to start coming out, it's a different story. And the thing is, one person who's doing an animation for our channel, she's little busy right now, and she's moving countries, so she's not gonna be able to work on it. Originally, we wanted to get it out as soon as possible, but it's gonna have to wait for a while. But of course, I'm gonna announce it once it comes out, so stay tuned for that. What do you think the planet will be like in 2100? Oh, thank you for the $2, Drew. In year 2100. I think technology is going to be much better than it is now. I mean, just look at the development in technology in the recent past. And here's another thing, which is pretty crazy. I think that the internet might get overshadowed by another type of media communication service. Just like how books were replaced by TVs and how TVs were sort of replaced by the internet. Something might come across and replace the internet. I also think that we're going to have much better lives. Less discrimination. I guess I do think that we will move to a more liberal policy. I think that's definitely what's going to happen in the future. What else? Medicine would definitely be more developed. I mean, just look at how much it has developed in the past few years and then to go like, okay, that's what's going to happen in the future years. And if you look at that, that's going to be pretty insane. Do you like Antifa? I don't like any, if any extremist leftist groups, no, not really a huge fan. Especially if you promote violence and stuff like Black Lives Matter. I'm not a fan of violence. And I'm not a fan of promoting very extreme SJWs or left-wing policies. But that is, I am liberal, in case you guys don't know. But that doesn't mean I'm on the same side as SJWs. Oh, my mom was an essential oils kick. Is there science behind this trend? Okay, essential oils is absolute nonsense, and it can even be dangerous if you inhale too much of the oils. So don't do essential oils. Maybe if it smells good, it could reduce your stress or something, but don't use it thinking it's going to cure some sort of illness. Do you believe that all vaccinations should be mandatory? Yes. And I know a lot of people will disagree with me, but I think vaccinations need to be mandatory unless you have an excuse not to take vaccinations, like if you're allergic or if you're too old or something like that, or if you're immunocompromised. I think vaccines is it's such a basic thing that we just need to get behind. And a lot of people say, oh, well, if you make vaccinations mandatory, what prevents you from making a ton of other things mandatory? And I think that depends on, you have to be able to, of course, the line isn't too distinct here and it's going to be some sort of gray area for some cases. But I think vaccinations is one of those clear cut ones that should be mandatory simply because of all the scientific evidence that we have for it and how much it has improved our lives in the past. There's very, very little downside to it, if at all, pretty much. So I think vaccinations should be mandatory. And I would definitely vote for a policy that makes that the case. But I do understand people's arguments if they don't want vaccinations to be mandatory. Okay. Can you give me some advice about admitting that you don't believe in God? Yeah, I'm not really too good at that. I know, genetically modified skeptic does a lot in terms of that, in terms of coming out as an atheist. Of course, I do not recommend coming out as an atheist if you are still dependent on your parents, and if your parents are like super heavily religious. I would just keep it to yourself until you're able to move out and sustain yourself. Free trade thought. Free trade is essential to drive the economy, but it can't fix all problems, which is why you can't leave everything to the market. That's just my opinion. I remember a kid in my high school did research on essential oils where they put it in bacteria and they found the growth rate was slower. That's pretty funny. Yeah, a lot of things that are promoted by essential oil companies are pretty pseudoscience and they actually can do harm, especially if you increase the dosage high enough. Should we model our healthcare system after Canada? Since Sanders' Medicare for All plan has a lot of similarities. A study found it would cost $32.6 trillion over a decade. I don't think the estimates were that high, but I guess it could be that high. It's just, here's my opinion. I think, and I know a lot of conservatives, you guys who are conservatives out there are going to disagree with me, but I think healthcare is a human right. And I care for all people, and I think people should deserve the best treatment that we currently have available, which is why I'm also in favor of developing new technologies. New technologies in medicine will bring down the cost. So it may cost a lot right now if we do it, but in the future, it's definitely going to cost less. And I think that increasing people's taxes, especially increasing people's taxes to make it so that healthcare is free, I think it's very worth it. I DM'd you on Twitter. I hope you check it out. Okay, I'll check it out later. Let's see. Don't worry about it. 32 trillion is actually like 10 trillion less than our current system. So it's actually cheaper. Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, that's great. And it's going to get even cheaper as new medical technologies develop. What do you think about making elections mandatory and punishable if you do not go and vote in general, not just the US? See, I am very frustrated by the people who don't vote. Tons of people just don't vote. And I think that's really, really annoying, especially the younger generation. The younger generation, people who turn 18, they generally just don't vote because they don't think they can make a difference. And I kind of feel like that is a small contributor to how Trump got into office, because I feel like a lot of young people don't vote, and millennials are generally more liberals. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like a huge fan of making it mandatory to vote, but it does frustrate me that a lot of people don't vote. Okay, I was Christian before I started hating it because of the limited thing I could do. Airsoft. Wait, I'm not really sure what you're talking about. Did I miss something? I think all states should stop recognizing religions. Do you agree? Yes, I think states should stop recognizing religions or religious groups as some sort of special like group of people they have to cater towards. Why the fuck are churches not paying taxes? Why the fuck are we why the fuck are we paying taxes and a church doesn't have to pay taxes? And in addition, like, are you just encouraging us to make an atheist church and then we don't have to pay taxes too? What the fuck? I think that's pretty ridiculous how they don't have to pay taxes. I DM'd you on Discord about heart transplants. Okay, I'll check it out later. Do you think some of the flat earthers you've covered are trolling? How serious they are, and a lot of flat earthers I've covered, their channels have been around for well over like a year or two. I don't think that they can troll for that long. That's a long time to be trolling for. Unless they were trolling and they were like, wow, look at all this fame I'm getting, therefore I should troll harder. No. The reason Trump became president is because U.S. voting system is shit. Oh, shit, wait. Oh, yeah, you can technically become president with like a 25% of the votes. I think the Electoral College is pretty ridiculous. I understand why it's in place, but I think it's a very outdated system. I could go into reasons, but I'll just... I don't want to talk too much about politics. Which religion, excluding Scientology, do you see as the most ridiculous? I don't think religions are ridiculous, but overall, I understand why people follow them, you know. Scientology is pretty fucking ridiculous, but what religion do I think is most ridiculous? I do know that I think I like the idea of some religions, like Taoism, for example, Confucianism. Those are pretty good. In terms of ridiculous religions, I don't really... I mean, I've heard of quite a few ridiculous religions, but I can't really pick out one that's really more ridiculous than the others. I think they're all pretty ridiculous. If vaccines are mandatory, then what are we going to do with the anti-vaxxers? Force inject them. Do atheists worship karma? Lol, no. I like the idea of karma, though. Karma's a cool idea. If only it were true. U.S. claims that they're a democracy, but so is North Korea, and North Korea is not. The U.S. is not really a democracy, let's be honest. We like to call ourselves a democracy. Trying for 3 hours? Oh my god, yeah. Okay, you know what? I've been here for too long. At 3 hours, I'm going to stop. That's my limit. Have you heard of the channel Actualized? I think I saw it once, but I don't remember anything about it. I don't know, maybe I'll check it out. Asking from someone from Europe, how big of an influence does religion have in the US compared to over there? I don't know how it is in Europe, but it's a pretty big influence in the US. But it depends on what state you're in, of course. Overall, it is kind of heavily influenced. Like, I think the fact that we have a creationist as our vice president is pretty fucking ridiculous. I think, oh my god, yeah. Okay. Professor Stick, been an amazing stream though, worth every minute. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed, and I've enjoyed every minute as well. Talking to guys is such a blast. Okay, why do all the people who don't have enough money to pay food sometime and stuff have to work for rich people? Don't have enough money to pay for, have to work for rich people. Well, I mean, I guess that's just how the way society works right now. It's unfortunate, but it's what it is. Life isn't fair. Not sure what you were expecting me to say from that question. Do you have any pets? And if not, what pet would you get? I really love cats. I think cats are better. I like cats more than dogs because I think they are more huggable and they're more fluffy. Not fluffy, but like they're more, like they have more fur on them and stuff, and they're more huggable. And they don't require as much attention, because I know that I wouldn't be able to pay as much attention to pets eventually when I do get a pet. So dogs may not be as necessary. Also, cats, you can kind of just let them roam around outside and stuff. Much less attention. But that doesn't mean I don't like dogs. I love dogs as well. I want to get that Shiba Inu, dog. So fucking troll. The internet has single-handedly made me want to get a Shiba Inu. Okay, I'm going to try to stop reading the politics one because I don't really want to talk about politics anymore. My blood is boiling already. Keep up the great work you do. Thank you, thank you. Love your channel. Hope you keep up the good content. I'm wondering which is better, communism or capitalism? That depends on what type of, I don't know. I guess communism isn't going to work in our society right now, I think. And capitalism depends on what degree of capitalism. Like, you can have different degrees of it, right? 100% capitalism, I think, is an absolute nightmare to live in. I think people, and I don't know if if any of you guys are out there, but I think if you identify as an anarcho-capitalist, then I don't know. I think that's worse than regular conservatism. Will I get a fursuit? No. I don't even know where do I even get a fucking fursuit? And how do I even make one? I'm not artsy enough. Sorry for joining your stream super late, but this is awesome. I'm glad you just showed up, man. I mean, I'm streaming for long because I know a lot of people are getting off work right now. We have almost half as much as we began. Like, I know streams are always like you start off with a lot, but now, after you stream for like a few hours, it's going to get less. But a lot of people are getting off work now, so I feel like it's a good time for me to continue streaming. I guess that's sort of another reason why I streamed for so long today. Okay. I'm going to skip some of the politics questions because I don't want to talk about politics anymore. Maybe we'll talk about it on Discord after this. Video games, which one's your favorite? I like the Legend of Zelda series, and in the Legend of Zelda series, I like Twilight Princess. Oh, Jesus. Why do YouTubers blame YouTube for demonetization when it's the advertiser's decision? That's the thing. I actually stand behind YouTube a lot of the time when it comes to this. I think that what YouTube does is justified, and I think if anyone can make the right business decision, it's Google. And YouTube is part of Google. And I don't know, I feel like everything that YouTube does is justified. Them demonetizing videos, think about it. Sure, you may complain about how they're demonetizing so many videos, but if they didn't do this, even less advertisers would come and you would get overall less ad revenue. I mean, I think they're making the overall better decision out of the two and them tightening up their security. If you don't want to get demonetized, I guess it sucks. I know it sucks if your channel gets blacklisted by YouTube and all your videos get demonetized. But I do think that it's more of a temporary thing. I mean, nobody's complaining about it as much now as they did in the past, as they did in the last year or so. So I think it has gotten better, and it's just a temporary phase. It sucks to be one of those channels that have your channel gotten struck down by YouTube for with demonetization. But I'm just glad that this is temporary and we're moving out of it. Professor Say, have you ever played any first-person shooter games? Yes, I have. I played some Overwatch before, and I also played some Team Fortress 2. I did play CS before. I'm not a huge fan of first-person shooters, is all. Non-political question. Do you play any musical instruments? Yes, I play the piano, a little bit of piano, and a little tiny bit of electric guitar. But I still suck. PewDiePie still complains. Is that so? PewDiePie, the biggest YouTuber, complains about demonetization. I don't know how much he makes, but I assume he makes quite a bit of money off YouTube. Do you know who Jordan Peterson is? Yes, I think Jordan Peterson is way overrated. I think did you see his Patreon? Like, people just throwing him money. I don't know. I don't think he's as brilliant as people say he is. And he does spread a lot of nonsense, like that time when he thought that ancient people in the past knew about the structure of DNA and stuff. Remember that when he said that? And then he said you can't, and then he also said in another video, I saw this from GM Skeptic's channel, that you can't quit smoking without a supernatural experience. What the fuck are you talking about, Jordan Peterson? People are giving you so much money per month and you're spewing this shit? Professor Stick, who is your favorite YouTuber? It's myself. No, I don't know. My favorite YouTuber, I watch a lot of gaming YouTubers, so I like Dashy Games. He's probably my favorite. Piano, guitar, I play both. Played electric since I was 7. I'm 21. Nice. Awesome, dude. Awesome. I'm not good at it though, so you can teach me some stuff. I can play like really basic shit on the electric guitar, and I played a lot more bass than I have for like lead guitar. Majora's Mask greater than Sign, Twilight Princess, fight me. I think Majora's Mask is absolutely amazing, and when I rate Legend of Zelda games, I rate them, you know, they're really, really close together. And it was really hard for me to decide which one I like the most. But I do think Majora's Mask is an absolutely amazing game. What happens if we inhale tardigrades? I don't know what that is, actually. How come carbonated drink factories are running out of CO2? Meanwhile, global warming everywhere. Carbonated drinks factories, they're not going to get their CO2 out of the air. They're going to get it from probably is what I think is feeding sugar to yeast. That produces carbon dioxide through the alcohol fermentation method of anaerobic respiration. Yeah, but I don't know. Are they running out of CO2? I don't know how it can run out of CO2. What was your favorite World War II tank? I don't know any World War II tanks, so don't ask me anything about history or war. You have an amazing taste in games. Thank you. Thank you. I'm picky about games and I'm picky about anime. But of course, I play a lot of popular games, you know? It's not like I play games that are like this for specific tastes and stuff. And because it's popular, a lot of people are gonna think they're good. Will you play the piano guitar on stream? A lot of people ask me this. I probably won't because it's going to break your eardrums. But maybe next stream. Maybe, if I feel like it. I don't know. I'm probably not going to feel like it. And I forgot a ton of songs because I haven't played in so long. What do you think goes through the mind of someone who thinks the government sprays chemtrails? I think they already had a preset mindset that the government is against them. And I think saying that makes them feel superior is what and I said this earlier, is that why a lot of conspiracy theories exist, is that they think that, you know, they feel like they're a step above other people just because they're like, oh, I know something that you guys don't, you know. And I completely understand that feeling, and I'm a victim to that feeling as well. So I think that's partly, you know, confirmation bias and whatnot. I think that's partly what drives them to think that the government is spraying chemicals in the air. What are your thoughts of autism spectrum disorder? I ask because I suffer from this, like so many others. Please notice me. I don't think it's a mental abnormality compared to regular, but honestly, there are some good things that come out from it, and you know, it's not as bad as, for example, if you suffer from schizophrenia or something like that. That's pretty bad. But I'm not gonna think someone who has autism is gonna be at all intellectually below me. I'm going to treat them as equals, just like anybody else. I mean, just because you have autism, and I don't think autism really impairs your ability to really think that much. Like, people always say, oh shit, my child has autism, oh, vaccines cause autism. Like, autism, come on, it's not that bad. And would you rather your child die from some disease? What do you hate the most out of everything? The most? That's pretty general. I hate... I have no idea. Oh, okay, I can tell you one thing that I hate. There was this one time where I was working in a lab in a college class, and essentially we were working with acids and bases because it was a general chemistry class. And I stupidly... You're supposed to work with acids and bases and fume hoods so that they can take the smell out of it, because it really corrodes your lungs and your windpipe. And I stupidly brought like a 20 molar base, and if you guys don't know, 20 molar is a hell of a lot. I brought it out of the fume hood, completely forgetting it was in there, and the smell spread throughout, and I got a whiff of 23 fucking molar base. It was NaOH. And my lungs almost died. I was like coughing. And I instantly just fucking started sweating. I was like, what the fuck? Where's that smell coming from? What the fuck is that? And I ran out of the room because I had to get fresh air. Oh my God, it was terrible. And then the best part is I had a friend who was working next to me, and I was like, oh my God, do you smell that? He was like, what? I don't really smell it. And then he was like, is it from that beaker? Because he saw there was a bit of liquid. He went and took a nose full of it. He went into it and sniffed the shit out of it, and he just died. Well, okay, he didn't literally die, but he he ran out of the room because he couldn't breathe. And Oh, it's not funny. It's not funny, but I'm laughing. What role do I play in League? I play mid lane and I play AD carry, and sometimes I play support. I do not play jungle or top at all. Thoughts on Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and Code Geass? I have not watched either of those, although I heard great things about both of them. I don't really like mecha though, so I might not even watch Code Geass. I don't understand CRISPR very well. Could you please understand? I could explain it, but it's going to take a while to explain. If you want to DM me on Discord, I can tell you about it off stream. But essentially, it's a good way for, it's a new technology that's developed that allows us to cut and replace genes very easily. That doesn't mean the technology hasn't been there before. We had zinc fingers and other types of proteins that allowed us to do that, but it's the speed and the efficiency and the cost of CRISPR that makes it so damn easy. And that's why CRISPR is such a revolutionary discovery. Do you have anxiety? I have it and it sucks, dude. I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, anxiety, man, it just sucks. Yeah, have you went to an actual therapist and gotten it tested to see if something's up with you? I think that's a good thing to do. I'm actually working on a video of depression right now, and something I cannot stress enough. If you think you have some sort of mental illness, whether it is depression, whether you have like constant anxiety attacks or panic attacks, or if you think you have anxiety, go get help. There are people who are willing to help, please. Okay, what conspiracy do you think is the most crazy? There's a conspiracy where they think that politicians and some people are lizard people. About 4 or 5% of the American people believe that. And I think that's pretty dumb. Holy shit, I went over 3 hours. I'm going to stop it right here, guys. I don't know. It's been quite a long time. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This has been really, really fun. I'm sorry that we couldn't get through as much of the website as I hoped we could have, but I hoped I answered most of your questions. Those of you who had like burning questions for me, thank you guys so much for donating through the super chat and for becoming members. I think we got 2 new members this live stream, and thank you guys so much. It means so much to me that you guys are willing to give me money, but please don't feel pressure to give me money. Again, I can't emphasize that enough as well. You guys just watching my videos is enough. You guys being here for the live stream is more than enough for me. I'm really happy to have so many people. Like, we have 245 people right now, and earlier we had like 500 people or something. Like, we're a little bit less, like 480 or something, and that's just incredible. I just can't believe there's so many people, so many of you guys who are willing to come here and watch this stream. That's just absolutely amazing. I'm eternally grateful. Now, if you do want to talk to me, feel free to go on Discord or Twitter. If you want to go on Twitter, don't DM me because I don't read DMs anymore. Make it a public tweet. Easiest way to contact me is through Discord. You can post it in the chat and tag me. I'll see whatever art or whatever video or suggestions or whatnot or articles that you want to give me. And in addition to that, if you DM me on Twitter, not on Twitter, on Discord, I will eventually get to it, even though it's slightly slower, because I do have quite a few people DMing me, and it takes me a while to get to them all. Just be patient with me, please. I'll try. I do want to be able to talk to all of you guys. Maybe eventually I will join the voice chat and I can talk to some of you guys directly, although I would need a lot of mod help to do that, because otherwise it's going to be way too chaotic. Don't forget to check DMs. Yes, I'll check DMs. Don't worry. Hey, $2 from Heartboy. Thank you again. You're so generous, dude. It's been awesome. Cheers, dude. Cheers, man. You're awesome. Thanks. Thank you for the donations. Okay, yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I hope to do at least a live stream every month. So last live stream I did last month. Maybe it'll be like mid-September or something. Maybe I'll do another live stream. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. I usually make announcements on Discord and on Twitter and in the YouTube community sections when I plan to do a live stream. So yeah, that's all I have to say. It was fun. Thank you guys for tuning in, and stay tuned for this Saturday where I'm going to release a video on breatharianism. It's been a really highly requested topic, so I think that's going to be pretty interesting. All right, see you guys. Have a good day.